Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by and for checking out this particular video. And for my usual followers and subscribers, thank you as well for taking your time today to see what's going on. For those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, you may not know that I've become a part of a group called the Terramuffins, and this is something that sort of developed all on its own. It involves myself and two other women. We have Eris from Eris Savard Designs, as well as Kelly the Opera Geek. And basically, we just kind of get up to some crazy antics on Twitter with each other as well as our followers. If you're all on Twitter and you have an account, just use the hashtag Terramuffins and you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyways, these two women have become very good friends of mine, and we have been enjoying each other's company and just chatting with each other on a daily basis. Now, because of the camaraderie that we've developed and the fun we've been having with other people, Capri Creations took it upon himself to create this really cool design, which I'm going to show you right over here. And this is the design that has sort of started this whole thing that's going to be happening. I'm going to explain in a minute. But he was kind enough to create this for us, and he gave us clearance to use it for whatever we'd like to. However, none of us felt comfortable using it as a for-profit, for ourselves type of thing. That's where the idea came to me, where maybe we could do something that's more fundraiser based with it. And to get started, I wanted to go with a cause that is something that is rather close to home. I'm coming upon the 3-year anniversary of losing a close friend to domestic violence. Because of that, I thought it'd be appropriate that we use this particular design and the merchandise that we're offering for it as a means to raise funds to donate to a local charity in my area that helps women who have experienced domestic violence and are trying to get out and trying to improve their lives. So what we thought we'd do is share this with everyone, and from now through the month of October, all sales, the profits are going to be donated to this particular charity. I'm going to have all the information down in the link below so that for those who want to do the research can do the research and decide if this is a facility you feel you'd like to back as well. I completely respect it, and I understand that you want to know where your money is going. I do the same thing. But if you would like to help us with this particular cause and support the awareness for domestic violence, please check out all the links down below. It has everything you'll need in there. If you have any questions, you can always find us on Twitter. I'll have all of our ats in the description as well. You can also email me at thecraftingmuse.email@gmail.com. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to watch this. I very much appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and please consider getting yourself some Terramuffin merchandise, and it's all for a good cause. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is One Flew Over the Cockatrice's Nest, an Affairs of Dragons one-shot adventure featuring 5 dragon wyrmlings in a lair of hundreds of orcs, and they're going to make one daring escape. Hey everybody, I am absolutely excited to be bringing another Affairs of Dragons game to the internets. This is actually the 4th time I have done this, where I tell the players, hey, choose a dragon from the monster manual, give it a name, that's your character. And it's a really unique dynamic, and it's a chance to let players play something very counter to what they normally get to play. But in every case, I have seen some phenomenal characterization given to individual dragons, and I expect to see a whole bunch of that tonight. This is going to this game is probably going to slide from slide all around the table, from serious RP to flat out chuckle effery. Already this group, before we got going, is having some fun, so that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna play D&D for a couple hours, have some fun, and you can come along for the ride. In just a moment, I'm going to go around the overlay here, and we're gonna hear who everybody is, let them plug whatever they want to plug before we get playing. Real quick, I want to draw your attention to up here in this corner, to the domain dice interface. Yes, right up above Eris's head. For those of you new to the channel, I need to make that bigger so that people can actually read it. But what it says is that for 500 bits, if you're watching on Twitch, or a $5 donation through Super Chat or through donation on Twitch, you can purchase a domain die for the players to use. And what I'm going to do right now, just for fun, to show you what these look like, is I want the 2 new members to the channel, Eris and Brian. I want you both to roll me a d4.
No pressure, right?
And then we're going to add an extra one on top of that because Megan from Dice on Ice just dropped 500 bits. What'd you get, Eris?
I got a 4.
I also rolled a 4.
All right, so with the 4 that each of you rolled, so that's 8, plus the 1 from Megan, you will start out with 9 domain dice.
That's all we need.
Ooh, and look at that.
And actually, let's see. There we go. So that's going to look like this. Oh no, my 4 isn't working. You know what?
Again?
I'm going to give you... Yeah, I forgot. I fixed it on the other game, but not on this one. So, what the heck? You guys get 10 domain dice.
I like it.
That's what you think, because the 4's not working, so we'll go from 10 down to 8.
Oh, no. Wait.
So you really only get 9 domain dice. We'll just have to play around with that one, or we'll remember that you have it. As a quick reminder, that means that at any time you don't like your die roll, you can re-roll it, take the new number, just say, hey, I want to use a domain die. And you can also force me to re-roll for any of my rolls that I make. But I cannot dip into those. Those are just for you as players. All right. Let's go around the world here, and we're going to meet all the players. What I'd like you to do is tell us who you are, where we can find you on the internet, plug what you want to plug, and then tell us who you are playing tonight. We're going to start over in the upper right corner with V.
Hi, I'm V. I have the channel on YouTube called The Crafting Muse, where I show you how to make various bits of terrain and scatter, and how to paint minis, all for your tabletop games, including some gaming accessories, and there's some family-friendly tips in there. Really cool place if you want to go over there and check it out. You can also find me over on Twitter as well, very active there. I am one of the 3 Terra Muffins. We also have a second Terra Muffin here with us tonight, so very excited about that. And if you watch the promo, we have this fundraiser going on right now for the whole month of October, and as you can see, this way, Jake is wearing a sample of this amazing design. If you want to help out, all proceeds are being donated to a local women's group in my area that helps women and other people in need in the abusive relationship situation, where they get out and they get them on their feet again and they have them starting new lives. It's a really, really great community, really great group. So if you want to help out, feel free to buy one of these amazing designs. And that's it for me for now. And do you want me to jump into character now, or?
Yeah, just introduce who you're going to be playing tonight.
I'm going to be playing Lleuadau, a silver wyrmling. And she's something of someone who likes to be around everyone and just likes to play nice for now. So we're going to see where we go with her.
Excellent. Thank you, V. And now we are going to drop down right below V to Brian.
Hello, I'm the handyman with Initiative Coffee Company, and I own a coffee company that is also has a substantial media component. We're on YouTube and Twitch. We run a program called The Bard's Tale that we just finished 2 seasons of, with 5 bards and a cook as they stumble their way through our home setting. We also run a weekly morning show called Rise and Roll. I run that with content creator Bill Allen from Bill Allen World. We do that every Monday at 9 Central Standard Time. And then there's like a whole coffee part of the coffee company. So we're partnered with Holly Conrad right now to do a benefit roast for anxiety gaming. So $3 from each of those bags that get sold through our website go to anxiety gaming. And Holly's been great to kind of partner with us on that. I am playing Glimmurh. Glimmurh is a brass dragon wyrmling, and I think he's probably the youngest of all the wyrmlings around, just because the CR rating's a 2. And I expect that I probably won't make it very long, so we'll see.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Karen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen. I'm kind of brand new to the whole streaming thing. I do have a channel. It's called Myth and Gears, and it's got one video on it. Yay! So hopefully we'll get more of them there. Mostly I'm in the AbTab group on Facebook, and that's where you'll find me most often. And tonight I'm playing Recalcitrix, a young black wyrmling. Kind of probably the opposite of Lleuadau. She's quiet, reserved, and kind of a little bit of a loner. And we'll see how she goes with the rest of these ones.
Excellent. Thank you. A quick shout out to Dwight, the big bearded nerd, one of the players in our Monday night All That Glitters campaign, for dropping another 500 bits, granting you guys another domain die. And we're going to jump over to somebody who is quickly becoming a regular on this channel. And one day in the not too distant future, he and I are going to reveal something super awesome, and the world's head is going to collectively explode. But in the meantime, Jay.
Hey, how's it going? Jay at JasonTDNDM on Twitter. I was the inaugural events and gaming coordinator for D&D in the Castle. I participated a couple weeks ago in a lovely one-shot with Jake, where there was a lot of open sea shenanigans on a sinking boat that we were able to save the day, fortunately. Hopefully we'll be able to do the same tonight and get these dragon wyrmlings out of here. I will be playing Blazewing. Blazewing is very not very sociable with the rest of the dragon wyrmlings. He even at his young age, he kind of views them as being a little bit lesser because he's got this sparkle of gold.
Fantastic. And last but most certainly not least, the other terror muffin on the channel, Eris.
Hello, I am Eris Savad. I am the stitchiest muffin. Sorry, I'm trying to manage a cat in my lap right now, trying to keep her out. So I make dice trays and dice bags and a bunch of stuff. You can find me on Twitter. I'm very active there at Eris Savad, just like you see in the bottom corner of my screen right there. You can also find me on erissavad.com, exactly the way it's spelled there. I actually have a new feature on my website. It's the tabletop role-playing game calendar. Kind of. It's a spreadsheet. It's a searchable list of over 120 different shows, all different times and all different channels. It's kind of crazy the response that I've had for this. I'm currently developing next generation, and so updates will be on my Twitter and on my website whenever that's ready. Tonight I am playing Pilly. And Pilly is very curious, and she likes a good trick. Lleuadau is her best friend in the world because, you know, they really, really see eye to eye on a lot of different things.
Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody, for your introductions. And I am at MTD_Jake on Twitter, also known as MTD Mitda Jake, or that guy with the glorious beard, according to Fireplug in the YouTube chat, and my mom. So, I'm going to be your DM tonight. I'm going to take you on a short adventure. How short is going to be really dependent on you tapping into your draconic abilities. Quick overview. All of you dragons have been born into captivity. All of you are approximately 5 years old, having been stolen from your clutches from around the realm by the orc tribes that have all come together in what you know they refer to as the orc warrens. None of you know anything really about your true draconic nature, being born in captivity. You don't even speak draconic. You actually speak orcish very fluently. having been brought up in the care of an orc caretaker over the last 5 years. You have lived most of this time in an increasingly smaller cave. As you have grown, you all are roughly in the size range between like a large dog and a small horse, just to kind of picture that. And I'll let you decide as we get going through things how big you actually are, but just so you know. And this, as you've grown, this cave you've been kept in, which has very thick, heavy bars at two ends, doesn't afford you a lot of room. None of you have actually spread your wings and flown. You've maybe flitted a little bit across the cave that stretches for about 60 or 70 feet at its widest point. Once a day, your caretaker, Dobraka, takes you through the bars one at a time, leads you to a stone ledge on a heavy chain lead, and allows you to drink from a subterranean river and do your biological duties around the river. You all wear thick onyx collars around your necks that you know you've never known a time when you didn't have these collars. You know that, especially as you've grown older, that you have felt a power within you that starts somewhere deep in your belly and sort of coalesces in your throat, but stops right where the collar goes across your throat. You feel that if you didn't have this collar blocking it, you could do something, you could release that power. And in the last few months, you've grown a bit more agitated as this power has come more to the forefront. But right now, it is morning. All of you are asleep in your various parts of this cave that is your home. And I am going to roll randomly, and we are going to see who we go to first. Blazewing, you are curled up in your corner, deep in sleep. Everybody knows that dreams are a place that transcends the barriers between dimensions and planes of existence, and that the dream world is the one that comes closest in your deepest dreams to touching all planes at once. While in this dream world, what is Blazewing dreaming of?
Well, I'm sort of just laying up on this the highest rock that I could find in the cave. Again, it's just his personality to be above, and as I'm laying there, I picture myself sort of flying over this idyllic valley, this picturesque pastoral landscape, trees, birds flying about. As I'm flying along, I look down towards the ground and I see these orcs pillaging this village, and I know for some reason inside myself that I hate these orcs. For some reason, I don't know why, but I hate them, and I see that they're doing wrong, and so I swoop in, and I see myself, my neck arching back, and as it slashes forward, whips forward towards them, and my jaws open up. I feel this thing coming up inside me, and it stops in my throat, and I wake up.
At that same time, Glimmurh, you are also deep in slumber in this magical place that transcends the realms. What is Glimmurh dreaming of?
Mud. Lots of mud. He's swimming around in it. He's enjoying the mud. He really likes mud and dirt, sand. It's a very... he feels safe there. He probably coughs occasionally, and when he does so in his dream, he falls further asleep. Like his dream self falls asleep also. Then he wakes up enjoying the mud.
Excellent. Recalcitrix. What is Recalcitrix dreaming of?
Recalcitrix is dreaming of no longer having this chain that takes her to and from the water, and this creature that keeps prodding her and hurting her. And when she's dreaming that, the chain falls off and she's allowed to turn and snap and devour this thing that keeps hurting her. And she smiles. It's a good dream.
And what about Pilly, the copper curled in her corner?
Well, Pilly is currently sleeping, but then she wakes up in this beautiful cave. It's got gems of all colors embedded in the walls. There's a giant pile of gold and jewels just over left there. And then she looks around her, and this little gnome is sitting in front of her. And he starts telling her the most fantastic stories and singing songs and admiring her beautiful scales. And then she gets a little hungry, so she eats them. And then she wakes up.
And lastly, I'm going to try to get this right on the first try. Lleuadau.
You did it.
What is Lleuadau dreaming of?
I'm dreaming that I'm up in the clouds, and it's nice and it's wide open, and I can see for miles, and there's no one around me. There's nothing attached to me, and I'm spreading out my wings and I'm stretching, and it feels fantastic. And then I'm looking down and I'm seeing all these really interesting little folks kind of doing their thing down below, and they're just so interesting. And I kind of started collecting some of the things I see they're using, and they just look like really neat little items, so I kind of keep them nearby, and I like to look at them and go through them, and I like to run around a little bit and take little leaps because I have all this space and there's not this thing attached to me anymore. And then I go and I jump, and suddenly something tugs at me and I fall back down, and it wakes me up.
And all of you find that it was the jarring sound of a heavy metal door being closed that has awoken you all from your slumber. This is how you wake up every day when your keeper comes in the morning to check on you. And this morning is no different, as by orc standards, for you, over the years, you've seen a few orcs come and go. This orc is relatively small. His skin is a pale green, one tusk jutting up, broken. He walks with a heavy limp. He wears his leather breeches and a leather apron and no shirt usually, as it's quite comfortably warm down in these caves. And he comes forth with dragging behind him, as he does every morning, the large carcasses split of Orcs, your morning breakfast, as he limps in Good morning, dragons. It's another fine day here in the Warrens, eh? I've brought you your breakfast. Here you go, Glimmurh.
Oh, thanks.
Lleuadau. Recalcitrix, don't try to bite me again.
She absolutely tries to snap at him as he throws that to her.
You catch a... actually, give me a dex check. Nope, better yet. Make a bite attack.
Starting off strong.
14.
Let's see. He is used to this and just barely manages to withdraw his hand. Your fang catching a little bit of the back of his hand, drawing blood. He holds up a hand like he's going to swat you.
One day, you'll be my breakfast.
But he doesn't. Actually, Dothraka has never struck you. He's actually pretty kind to all of you as he drags over to Blazewing. There you go. And this for you, Billy.
She sniffs it before she eats to make sure it's not something yucky.
He walks over. It's all of it. The Orcs, which are large cattle-like creatures, are they are all fresh kills, so it's fresh meat. He then wanders off to a side of the cavern to the west that has a large set of thick bars, and he removes one of the bars. It slides in a way that he has always concealed from you, but it allows him passage through. And he rummages on a table and comes back with a large clay jar with a foul-smelling salve in it. And as you're eating, he begins to go to each of you and rubs the salve on your scales underneath the collar where it chafes, as he has done for years, taking care of you.
That's better.
I'll give you a few moments as you guys are eating your breakfast to communicate however you normally would in the morning.
So two things. Can I see from where I am, since I've got a higher vantage point, how he accessed that secret little room thing?
Give me a perception check.
That's a non-natural 20.
You can see that he manipulates the bar in a series of complex twists and lifting maneuvers, but you've never quite been able to figure out exactly how he's doing it.
I think Glimmurh probably leans into Dothraka as he gets the scratches essentially, and just kind of leans in and just kind of gets a little bit of extra scratching from the salve.
Looks like you got a sweet spot today.
It's all right, Glimmurh. I hope one day that the Master Eye will let me remove these collars from your necks.
It's heavy.
It's itchy.
For
It's
you,
so
maybe.
uncomfortable.
Did you ever just slip it off of us for maybe like a minute or two?
Ooh, that would
You
be
know I can't do that. The Master Eye has the only key.
Oh,
You can't steal the key? Well, maybe just borrow it for a while.
Billy, you always try to get me to steal things.
Maybe it's just important for you to have it because you're taking care of us and you have to adjust them
yeah,
sometimes.
what if there was like an emergency or something and we're caught and we're choking? You could argue one of your valuable assets could just drop dead right then and there because you didn't have the key.
You know I don't talk so well when Master Eye is around.
Well, then you bring him here and I'll talk to him for you.
Oh, yes, we would love to meet him.
You all have actually met the Master Eye once before.
Again?
You know that the Master Eye is an orc that is very highly regarded. Not as regarded as the war chief himself, but the Master Eye is a sort of almost like a priest. He wears, by orc standards, ornate robes, and you've seen him with gold chains around his neck. He wears gold caps on his fangs. He carries a large staff, and one of his gold chains has a gold and purple gemstone medallion around his neck. That you've all seen each other's collars, and you've seen that the shape of that gemstone matches an indentation in your collars. Well,
Rocky, isn't it ever frustrating to you that he's got all this neat stuff and he doesn't share? And sharing's important.
he is the Master Eye. He has more privilege than Dodaka.
But you do more work. You take care of us.
I do the work that Grumps has decided that I am capable of. I am gifted with the ability to take care of the dragons. Grumps
Doesn't
give
seem
me
like a
this
small
ability.
thing to me. I feel like Grumsh would want to reward you for that, and it seems like this eye fella, he doesn't. Just doesn't
Mr.
seem
Eye
like
doesn't
he's
appreciate
fair.
you.
You hear from the far side of the cave another voice. Dothraka. If you're not careful, your worms will get the best of you, I fear. I hear them uttering the name of Gromsh, and even my own name. And this figure, the Master Eye, emerges from the shadows at the far side. I do not like to hear my name from the mouths of dragon wyrmlings.
What do you like to hear?
As soon as you open your mouth, he touches a hand to the amulet around his neck, and you feel a jolt through your collar. And I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw. And actually, that's for all of you, because all of you feel this jolt.
I have an 18.
14?
21.
Recalcitrix and Blazewing.
19.
21.
All of you feel this jolt, but none of you take any damage from it. It's not very powerful. I said I don't want to hear your voices. I will speak to Dothraka.
Recalcitrix would hiss at him.
I mean, that's not what it's. You said that. Never mind.
Keep
it's
it
okay.
up, and I will have your tongues.
How far away is he?
He is, at this point, he is probably about 20 feet from you.
All right. Well, let's get it on. I'm going to jump down off the rock, feeling that we've now gotten sort of this immunity from the amulet, and just land directly in front of him and say to him, "Do not worry, friend. I will not be talking when you're in my mouth." And I roll to bite him.
All right.
Them's fighting words.
What is your attack roll?
It is a 22.
You guys with your stats and your CR ratings.
All right. Go ahead and roll the damage on that.
Uh, 10 piercing damage.
He puts an arm up defensively, and you bite down hard. You feel your teeth penetrate through the sleeves of his robe, and immediately are met with metal resistance. He grimaces. "Ah!" And he pulls out from his robe with his other hand very quickly a small piece of iron. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
This is going bad fast. Okay. That is a 16. Man, these guys have high saves. Never played a dragon before, sorry.
All right. As you bite on him, and he says this, you feel your body begin to stiffen. Something emanating out from the collar around your neck seems to be holding you in place. He jerks his arm back from your mouth, and with his staff, he strikes at you. And what is your AC? I forgot to get your guys' AC. So
17.
Well, so you are going to take you're only going to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as he whacks you across the snout with his staff. He quickly steps back. As he steps back, he sort of almost glides away from you. And then he reaches up, and you can, as he starts to reach up with his hand, you can see from his other hand, you see his blood is dripping out from under his sleeve. You will regret that. He touches the amulet, and all of you freeze in place. You are all paralyzed. You felt this before, an effect of the collars that you wear. He walks past you, Blazewing, keeping his distance, even though he knows he just paralyzed you, as he walks over to Dothraka.
I'm really sorry, Master Eye. Blazewing should never have done that. I will see to it that he's punished properly. Dothraka.
Chief Uthar
Tulak grows impatient with your ability to train these dragons. They are savage beasts, as we have seen. Something must be done. You must become better. Or perhaps we will find some other purpose appointed by Grumsh.
And he begins to walk around. As he's talking, he's walking around Dothraka in circles. He comes up behind him and he places a hand, the same hand that you bit, Blazewing, on his shoulder. And he says, Chief
Uthar Tulak has authorized me to replace you.
There's a quick movement by the Master Eye, a flash of light off of steel, and you all watch as the tip of his staff, now with a spearhead coming out of the end of it, emerges from Dothraka's chest as the Master Eye stabs him through from behind, with his injured arm pulling him down onto the spear.
You are relieved of duty.
He pulls the spear out, and Dothraka's body drops. He looks at all of you.
When I come back, we will begin your new training.
And he skirts along the edges of the walls and heads back through the narrow cavern. And you hear the sound of the metal door as he moves elsewhere in the warrens. And real quick, I'm going to bump you guys up to 13 domain dice as MTD Superfan. Ooh, Chameleon Fan. Ooh, has just dropped $10 in your favor. Buying you 2 more domain dice.
Long time no see.
So
it's been like 6 hours.
Right. So as he leaves, as you hear that door slam shut, you all feel the paralysis leave you. You now have full control of your body. Everybody give me a quick perception check.
Seven.
No. So I accidentally looked at Ancient Bronze for a moment and got really excited.
Yeah, don't do that.
14.
I got a
24.
17.
So the gold, the black, and the brass, you all hear from over on the side where Dothraka has fallen. You hear a ragged as he is not dead yet.
I would like to. Can I get to him?
Yeah, he's in the same cave area that you guys are.
Okay. So we don't have breath weapons.
Wait. I will let you go. You must stop the Master Eye. He will kill you. Take this.
And he pulls from inside the apron, his hand dripping with blood. He holds something up as he lays on the ground, kind of on one side. You see blood rapidly pooling around him. With every breath, the blood is bubbling up around his chest, and you can hear his breath kind of through the chest wound as well as he holds up some kind of stone.
Can I lean my collar into that stone?
You certainly can. Nothing happens.
No.
You will need this for the bars. Blazewing, I know you watch me.
I walk over to him and sort of stoop my head down and reach out my front paw to grab the stone from him.
It is a strange rock that has... half of it is rough and half of it is very smooth.
Press it to the bars when you turn it. Go that way.
And he points towards the direction the Master Eye went. And then he kind of slumps.
You
over and sits next to him and kind of like cuddles up to him.
He reaches up with a bloody hand and strokes your scales, leaving a trace, marking you with a sort of bloody handprint on the side of your face that almost blends in with the copper of your scales.
You should be free. I always wanted you to taste the open air. The Master or Master Eye would not allow it.
We know you did your best for us.
Kill him.
Oh, we will. With pleasure.
And he does something that he is the... None of you, because you have spent all of your lives with this orc. And so you've seen him do this many, many, many times. But anybody else, anywhere in the realms, to see an orc do this would not understand. As he smiles. A genuine, toothy, eyes bright smile. And with one hand leaning on Pilly, you see as the light goes out of those bright eyes and the ragged breathing stops. Blazewing, you hold in your hand a lodestone, a magnetic rock.
Is the floor in here dirt or stone or?
It is dirt covered bedrock.
Is there enough dirt above the bedrock that I can use my burrow speed to bury Dothraka?
It would be a shallow grave, but yes. Because you've tried to dig in here before. And there's a couple spots where the dirt is a little thicker. But it's always bedrock down and around, which is probably why they kept you here. But yeah, you could absolutely do that.
We'll do that.
It doesn't take you long at all with your dragon claws to dig this grave and bury him. Actually, I would like a insight check from everyone.
Ooh, that was really bad. I failed. There's no way I passed that.
I got a natural 20, but that means 20.
Okay.
I mean, I got a 4.
14.
I got a 9. Okay, the double rolling dice is continuing through the games. This is fantastic.
What'd you get, Blazewing?
That was a 14.
And Recalcitrix, did you say 9 also? So, Glimmurh and Blazewing, you're the only two that really kind of picked up on the Master Eye when he left, when he said that today your training starts anew, that he had a sense of urgency in his tone. And you know you probably don't have long. He went through a narrow passageway that leads to a side cave, and where the other barred entrance is, to the southeast.
Dragon friends, that way leads to our freedom. Here is a lifetime of servitude. Which do you choose? Choose now, for we have a little time.
Get us the hell out of here.
Freedom, duh.
Which gate should we use? There's 2 gates.
So the one gate goes to the west, and that's the gate that he has kind of some of his stuff that he uses to take care of you guys, and it's also where he would chain you and lead you to the underground river to drink and make. The other way you've never been before. That's the direction that the Master Eye went, and that Dothraka came from when he comes in the mornings.
I go where that amulet goes. I will break these chains, and then I will break his bones.
Okay.
For once, I like how you think.
I need some blood on my claws.
All right.
Are you petting him,
I think she was wiping the blood off of her.
Oh.
Yeah, I took the blood off my face and I put it on her claw.
Not his blood.
I'd like to go over to where his blood dripped on the ground.
Okay.
And see if I can catch his scent.
Oh, excellent. Give me a survival check.
Ooh, 17. I was really worried because I thought it was going to be totally bad.
You sniff around at the coppery metallic tinged blood with a hint of iron in it. And you get that scent in your nostrils. And then once it locks in, you sense it. More of it, about 10 feet away to the east. And then more a little bit beyond that in the direction he went. You have his scent.
Have you got him sniffed out?
His foul blood could be tracked anywhere.
I don't want to increase the problems here, but does anyone have hands small enough to make this stone work in the gate? I mean, we don't have, like, hands.
Well, maybe with a little teamwork, we could have it happen. You never know. I mean, they aren't exactly completely useless.
Okay.
All right.
Besides, he had large hands as well.
Yeah, but they were hands, not claws.
There's
I'm sure we can
no
figure it
way
out.
we
I'm sure it's not that hard.
I will say that you will not have fine motor skills with your claws, but because of your talons, you do have the ability to grip some things. Yeah, kind of like a pincer thing, and the stone has enough rough texture to it that you could probably grip it with your talons.
Good.
Or like a claw on a stuffed animal machine. Gotcha. All right.
Yep. It's very
Oh
tenuous.
gosh, it's gonna cost us like $10 to get this stuffy out.
Exactly.
How about one of us holds right underneath in case the other drops so we're not having to chase after it?
Excellent idea.
So are you following the blood trail, Blazewing?
Oh, definitely.
So after about 30 or 40 feet, you go through this narrow passage that's just big enough to allow you single file to go through it. And there is another set of thick bars blocking a passage. They look very similar to the bars that you saw him manipulate earlier.
You know how to do this, Blaze?
I believe I can give it a shot. But I will say this. Whatever lies beyond these bars, they do not want us to leave. So
Too bad for them.
it needs to be bite first, ask questions later.
Who's asking? I'm doing.
I like your style.
All right, you do your thing. I'll catch the rock if you drop it.
So what do I need to do to make this rock work?
Well, you have seen the way that he kind of, you saw him kind of turn his back to you, but you saw that he reached out with both hands towards the bar. And as you do that, with this lodestone in your hand, it snaps. You feel it just pulled out of your grip, and it kind of ting up against the metal bar. And thinking back, you think you might be able to replicate the movements that he made with the bar. And you're able to kind of grip the bar and basically kind of like twist it one way, lift, twist it another way, lift, twist it. It takes a couple times. And then suddenly the bar lifts free and kind of like whatever was locking it, and lets it kind of slide out of the way. I realized that mechanically makes absolutely no sense. But that's what you get when you make up a mechanical trick on the fly. But it happens.
Well, we are escaping from like an orc imprisonment, so anything.
And once you release it, yeah, once you release it, the rest of the bars seem to kind of, it's like you basically unlocked a portcullis, we'll say, and these bars, the rest of them just kind of drop down. You now have passage into a cavern that's about maybe half the size of the one you've spent your entire life in, and there is an opening about 10 feet square in the middle of this cavern with stairs leading down into a tunnel.
Any stairs leading up?
None. But Blazewing, the scent of blood is coming from down those stairs.
Vengeance is not the way, my friends.
Let's get out of here.
As you descend down the stairs, I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but do all of you have dark vision?
Yes, and blind sight also.
Yeah, I think you all have like short range blind sight.
Yeah, 10 feet.
I
imagine watching Glimmurh go down the stairs is a little bit like watching a dog go down the stairs for the first time, and that he's never done it.
Oh,
and
like
he's not
those
good at it.
Labrador
Oh no! So I see Glimmurh kind of stepping and stepping back, and stepping and stepping back.
Yeah, just like I don't know if this is a good idea.
Tilly just comes up behind him and says, "It's fine," and pushes.
And I'm going like push.
You don't take any damage, but you just kind of do that puppy roll down.
Sure.
Baby
Right.
dragon roll down the stairs. Doosh, 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 doosh. It makes
Sometimes you just need some encouragement.
So much for stealth. Okay, this will work.
Blazewing. I'm assuming you're in the lead on this. You are in a tunnel that is about 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet. It's a bit cramped for a couple of the bigger of you. I feel like Glimmurh probably moves with ease through this. I feel like Glimmer's the one that's probably about the size of a Great Dane. Whereas I see Blazewing is about the size of like a
Clydesdale.
yeah, like a Clydesdale, basically.
Yeah, he's at 65 HP, so...
Yeah. Well, and you guys would range. I'd say Glimmurh, you're probably about from snout to tail, like 6 or 8 feet. And Blazewing, that means you're probably from snout to tail, close to like 12 feet, maybe more. But you move through this tunnel. It's a straight, narrow tunnel that goes on for a few hundred feet before arriving at another set of stairs that go up.
Oh man, I can't use gravity to help me this time.
It's like climbing up a rock.
Oh, okay, but like a lot of them in a row.
I think you can move up a little bit more easily than you can go down.
Hold
Oh,
on to
that's
my
true.
tail, little one.
Okay.
You tug, I'll push.
I feel like we just
like
stumbled into the dragon version, the D&D version of Land Before Time.
Oh my god, you're right.
Oh my god, I just had that vision. Oh
You
man.
are our Petrie Glimmurh.
You are.
I'm for it. I'm about that life.
All right.
You can't take it back now.
The benefit is it means that we're going to live through this because there have to be 26 sequels to this episode.
Yes.
That's very true.
Yes, this game will go on for the next 25 years.
And we'll still manage to remain Wyrmlings for some unexplained reason.
Okay. So you're heading up the stairs?
Yes.
Yeah.
You find yourself emerging into a room that you're in the northwest corner of this room. The room opens up towards the southwest. It's basically kind of like there's a couple angles on the walls and it opens up wider away from you. It's sort of triangular in shape, with the far corners of the triangle, if you will, to the south and to the east having doors in them. Just standard wooden doors. There's nothing else of note in this room.
Is it like one set of doors or is it different paths?
It's a door to the east and a door to the south.
Okay.
Two separate pathways.
Which way does the scent go?
Make another survival check.
That's a 12.
There's something else in the air that's mingling with the scent of blood. It's actually not an unfamiliar smell, because you kind of have smelled this almost like emanating from Recalcitrix from time to time. It's an acrid scent, but it doesn't smell like Recalcitrix. Saw that, Karen. But it has this kind of acrid scent to it. Caustic. I would like a perception check from everyone.
21.
19.
Oh gosh, why?
23.
17.
What'd you do?
So, did anybody roll lower than a 12? So,
I did.
Pilly,
I'm on dice number 5 tonight, by the way.
you have
Beginner's luck.
well, don't forget you have 13 domain
Yeah.
dice at your disposal.
Oh gosh,
Yes.
I did forget about those.
Those
But
things.
it's a perception check, and the rest of us succeeded.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Uh-oh.
That's a part I
fall
don't
in a
like.
hole, that's what happens.
I don't like that ellipsis.
There's
But-
Jake, whenever you hear the Jake cackle, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's an
yeah.
ominous
What's that when the
buzz,
DM when the
but-
DM laughs? It's already too late.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pilly, I would like a dexterity saving throw from you as you hear a splorch sound, and the rest of you, all of you, hear this sound, and you see a shimmer of light, almost refracted light from the ceiling as something detaches itself with a splorch and is falling towards Pilly. So
A dex save.
A dex save.
19.
So you dodge out of the way as this 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot gelatinous cube splorches down on the ground right where you were standing. And I want to have you guys roll for initiative.
I'm keeping this one.
So we'll just go ahead. Everybody roll, and then I'll ask you what you got. Pilly, what'd you get?
That would be a 11.
I wrote it phonetically. Where'd it go? Lleuadau?
That would be 18.
Blazewing.
12.
Recalcitrix.
17.
And Glimmurh.
16.
And I'm going to roll for my cube. I basically, since it's orcs and other things, I pulled every green die out of my bag. I'm using all green dice for orcs. And splorch cubes. Let's see. It has a minus. Wow, it's got quite the minus.
The
So-
second you said splorch.
It sort of splorches down and it compresses a bit. And there's this sort of... as it's starting to reform back into its full cube shape. Here is the order. It's going to be Lleuadau is going to go first, followed by Recalcitrix second, followed by Glimmurh, Blazewing, Pilly, and the Splorch Cube. All right, what are you going to do, Lleuadau?
How far away is it from me?
It's basically within about 15 feet of all of you, except for Pilly. It's right next to Pilly.
Is Pilly's chain near me?
Nobody has chains on them.
There's no chain. Okay.
No, you were only chained up when you were brought out into the
right,
river
right.
area.
Okay.
They're just grump collars.
I just and we don't have our breath yet, which is just ever so much fun. I am going, I guess, to try and take a bite out of it, I think is what I would do.
All right.
Why not? Let's see what happens. All right, so then that is going to be 21.
That definitely hits.
The maths, they're hard tonight. And then a D10, right? Yeah. Oh, where's my D10? There's a D10.
Are
And
you-
that's going to be 7.
All right. Are you guys all classified as small or medium?
I'm medium.
My guess is we're all medium because I am the
Yeah.
weakest of all of us. And I'm
Yeah.
medium.
I just wanted to make sure. I couldn't remember how Wyrmlings were classified.
I think in older editions they were small.
Okay. That's going to be Recalcitrix.
So Recalcitrix is kind of going to move around the cube towards one of those doors that was on the other side of it. And then seeing how Lleuadau's biting it is also kind of curious as well what this thing is going to taste like. And so we'll also try to eat it.
All right, take a bite.
That would be a 7.
That
Can
hits.
I use the domain? Oh, it hits?
Yes, it's a gelatinous cube. It does not have much of an AC.
Yes, this thing is tasty.
Texas 2.
I think that's one of the few times in the combat I've said that a 7 hits.
So that would be 8 points of piercing, and it says plus acid damage. So do I get that as well, even though I've got the con?
On your bite, yes, you have whatever benefits come with your bite, because I view that as it's not that you're breathing on it, you're secreting.
Okay, so then it's 8 points of piercing damage and 4 acid.
All right. It has a very weird, both of you that have bitten it, it does have a weird consistency to it. So much more malleable than any of the meat and bone you've gnawed on before. Glimmurh.
I would like to walk up to it and dig out a sinkhole beneath it. But I don't know how to do that.
I'm going to... So you're going to try to burrow?
Well, I'm going to use the burrow ability, but the goal is to, like, immobilize it by, like, digging a hole under it. And
So
like,
are you going to try to go down and come up under it kind of thing? Or how are you doing
just, like,
this?
go, like if it's here... Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's here. And I'm, like, here. And then I dig, like, directly under and come out the other side of it. So it doesn't land on top of me. And the ground just, like, gives way. Does that, does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Give me a strength check.
19.
I'm
using what I call my murder dice, and that's how I kill the bards on the Bard's Tale.
So this is going to take your action to do.
That's fine.
Because you are suddenly, your claws are a flurry of action as you start digging into the stone floor. But the stone quickly gives way to dirt with no bedrock below it. And you're just a flurry. I mean, all you guys see is Glimmurh like you've never seen before. Just suddenly, the stone just starts going, coming up in chips. And then suddenly Glimmurh is gone underneath the tiles. And what seems like just a couple seconds later, Glimmurh emerges on the other side, the tile kind of breaking up. And as you break through on the other side, Glimmurh, it doesn't appear as though anything is happening yet. And we're going to go to Blazewing.
Okay. Seeing this, I'm a bit stupefied by the world Glimmurh is doing. And I'll just join my compatriots in attacking with a bite.
All right.
It's an 18 to hit.
Absolutely.
I don't know why I looked. I forgot it.
Hey, boy, at this point, you guys know a 7 is enough to hit.
For 10 piercing damage.
All right. And it is now Pilly's turn. That's you, Pilly.
Sorry, my internet was unstable and I didn't hear you at all say that it was my turn.
Nope, that's fine. It looked like you were frozen for a second. So, yeah, that's you.
It's going in and out. Pilly looks around confused and she says, "Is this food? Why are we eating it?" And then she tries to take a bite.
All right, roll that bite attack.
17.
It's a hit.
I assume that hits.
Yes.
4 piercing damage.
All
I don't
right.
have any additional bite
So-
damage because apparently coppers don't.
Everybody except Glimmurh. Wait, did you go? Yeah, sorry. What did you do again, Lleuadau? Did you bite it first?
I bit at him.
Yeah, everybody. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Everybody bit it. So I'm going to roll a d4 because Glimmur's the only one that didn't bite it. And it looks like Lleuadau is getting the attention of a section of the cube with another splorching sound kind of separates off, looking like a large club-like arm as it sort of swings through the air and whips down at you, attempting to strike you. And that is a crit. I kid you not. Oh, no. What? How many hit points do you have, by the way?
45.
Okay.
Hey, you're gonna re-roll.
I was going to say,
So-
I would like you
You
to
re-roll
re-roll
on
that.
that one.
Oh, yes, those domain dice. All right, so let's knock that down from 13 to 12. That's why we have domain dice. All right, I'm going to re-roll. That is a modified 20. It's a dirty 20 to hit.
I'm not getting critted by a gelatinous cube.
Well, that would have been bad for basically
Yeah.
anybody but Recalcitrix. As you take, instead, you take 10 points of acid damage as this thing strikes your scales and it burns. And your scales, your silver scales, almost immediately oxidize and leave behind a sort of bubbling residue as it leaves your skin. And you see it like it's raising up again. And then you hear, and Glimmurh, you feel. And the whole cube drops about 3 feet into the trench that Glimmurh dug moments before. And it appears to be immobilized. So we are back at the top of the order with Lleuadau. It looks like it's stuck in this hole.
Now, did this get anywhere near the collar that I'm wearing? Out of curiosity? Chance,
I'm going
maybe?
to say the way, because this is actually how I pictured it, is kind of striking at your neck, like behind your ears, and going across. And because of the pseudopod, I'll say that part of it touched your collar.
So what do you say, Mr. J? Did it corrode my collar a little bit?
You know, I knew when you were talking about that beforehand that you were going to use that on me.
I did too.
I just knew it.
I'm fairly certain we all knew. We were all secretly very
I'm not
excited about it.
disappointed.
Didn't
I'm
realize.
not disappointed. So I'll say everybody else give me a perception check. Because Lleuadau, you can't really see your collar.
17.
Dirty 20.
24.
Oh,
I am not paying attention to Lleuadau. I got a 6.
Ironic, the one with the most innate
Knowledge.
acid knowledge. Everybody else would notice as this thing, probably looking from the sound it made as it struck Lleuadau, there's a sizzling and a hiss across the collar, and part of the onyx coloring is discolored, and there is a good-sized trench left in it where the pseudopod cut across the collar.
Guys, that really hurt. It burns. Something awful. What happened?
It got rid of your collar.
Well, it hasn't removed it completely, but it's kind of dug like a groove in it.
I think,
Almost.
I mean, maybe not with that, but it smells kind of like you, Recalcitrix, like your breath, but like your spit. Can you maybe like gnaw on it and see if that helps?
I'm gonna like back up to her so she can see the collar. Like, what does this look like to you?
It looks like it's not looking too good. Can I try to dribble some acid on her?
On her or her collar?
How about the collar, please?
I'm aiming for the collar, but I might miss a little.
So you're just working up some saliva and you're gonna kind of drool onto the.
That's right. I'm just gonna drool.
All right. What does your what kind of acid? What's your acid damage?
It's a D4.
Like
if from my bite, it's a D4. Yeah.
Okay. You can drool some acid, saliva onto the collar, and it's enough to kind of show you that the acid is having an effect on the collar. So both your saliva, though your saliva, you'd have to take a long time, you think, based on the reaction. But the gelatinous cube seemed to have done a fair amount to it just by touching it. It's still near you guys, making splorching sounds, trying to remove itself from this trench.
I immediately just shoved my head into the cube.
That's
Thank
exactly
you.
what I was
I
gonna
was
say.
waiting for somebody to do that.
That's a great plan if you're immune to acid or have
Yeah.
more than 11 hit points.
Right?
Yes,
I
Pilly?
was gonna. I was as soon as I saw that, Pilly would have stuck her head right onto it with or at least the collar part.
So, Pilly, you're going to lean your head against the cube.
has
Blazewing,
acid.
you just shoved your head right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
immune
and-
to acid.
Recalcitrix is going to shove her head straight into it too.
Blazewing,
Snout
are you
first.
immune to acid?
No.
No.
Fire.
No, but you're immune to low hit points at this point.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Blazewing. You are going to take damage from this. There's just no way around it.
Nope.
And immediately when my head goes in, I'm just like.
So Blazewing, you take you're lucky, 6 points of acid damage. And I need
darn
you
it
to
all.
make a strength check to withdraw your head.
All right, 1 second. Oh my God. Okay.
Can I assist him with that? Can I like yank him?
Little tiny Glimmer pulling on Blazewing.
Just like no, this
Yes.
is like in my mind, Glimmer thinks this is a terrible idea and is trying to stop him, but he's so weak that he can't. Like, there's no chance of him stopping him.
Pull me,
So
Peter.
like, he's like, no, don't. Like, and he's already in.
That's
He's
awesome.
like,
All right, you
"Stop
can
it."
roll with advantage, Blazewing.
Didn't really matter. It's a 19 and a 20 with a +4. So it's a 24.
So with a splort sound, you withdraw
Don't say
your
it didn't
head.
matter.
Your collar dissolved away, and you can see pieces of it floating in the gelatinous cube, kind of bubbling. Pilly, give me a strength check to pull away. And Recalcitrix, you are completely immune to acid, correct?
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Or are
I'm
you
gonna take
resistant?
I am immune.
Okay, so Recalcitrix, you just need to make a strength check. Pilly, you're using a domain die.
Yes. That's much better.
19 on my strength.
I got an 18.
Okay. Pilly, you take 4 points of acid damage.
I take no points of acid.
Oh, that's right. You're immune too.
To acid.
You are immune to it. So yeah, no worries. So after a moment, your collar breaks free. Recalcitrix, you just kind of pull back, and your collar is now completely removed. The acid.
Can I try scratching at mine like a dog would, like with the back claws?
Give me a strength
See if I
check.
can snap it. Yeah. Okay. Does anything get added to that or no?
Yeah, your strength modifier.
So that's good. Oh yeah, derp. 11.
It feels like it's not quite giving way as you're kind of scratching at it and pulling at it.
I see her doing that, and I'll come over and help her.
All right, give me a strength check.
With advantage?
Yeah, since you guys are working together, take it with advantage.
All right.
Me or you?
You, because you're helping.
Okay. That's 17.
Free me from this constraint.
There's a snapping sound as Lleuadau's neck snaps. No, I'm just kidding. As the collar snaps free. Everybody is free except for Glimmurh, who's just sitting there pulling on Blazewing.
Would it be possible?
I imagine Blazewing's face is like smoldering from acid.
Oh yeah,
I'll sort of like just down onto his necklace.
I was going to say, would it be possible for a Recalcitrix to maybe grab a clawful of?
Oh, that's a good point.
And like rub it on.
Paint it.
There you go.
Okay. Glimmurh, do you have acid immunity?
No. Sure don't.
Okay, I would like I'm going to give you a con check on this one. Give me a con saving throw.
Come on, murder dice.
Remember domain dice.
Hey, that's not bad. It's a 16. I'm going to go with a 16.
Okay, that's enough. Recalcitrix, you absolutely grab a handful of this stuff. Glimmurh, you feel a burning around your neck. And you take 3 points of acid damage. As despite her efforts, Recalcitrix drips some of this acid onto your neck. But guess what? All of your collars have been removed. The gelatinous cube is still sort of splorching in this pit. And it looks like it's it's kind of figured out, and you see it kind of elongating and reaching out with this sort of pseudopod to the outside floor. It's moving very slowly, as these cubes do. But it looks like it's on the verge of moving to free itself.
So we get the hell out of here and leave old slimy ball right where he is.
Agreed.
Yes.
All right. To the south or to the east?
Which way, Blaze? Or don't tell me you've lost them.
There is so much acid scent in the air, you have completely lost the scent of blood.
I mean, your face was in it, so...
Yeah, I mean, you literally stuck... It's in your nostrils.
Nasal passages.
That's all you smell is acid. And burning dragon flesh.
Fortunately, in freeing myself, I have lost its scent.
Well, your guess is as good as mine.
Can we see any light coming from either door?
They are both solid wooden doors banded with iron.
I vote south.
Fine by me, as long as it gets us out of here.
I vote away from the mean thing.
That too.
Let's go.
Oh, and thanks for your help getting that terrible thing off my neck. This feels so refreshing.
I know. And just sitting here like scratching around. Like, yes.
Like that shake.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going... You said south?
Yes.
All right. How are you handling the door?
Battle ramp?
I'd like to try to breathe on it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a good point.
So she
All right.
kinda coughs and sputters, and probably nothing comes out for a while, and then she figures out this feeling, and she'll let the acid just go.
What kind of damage does that acid do?
5d8.
I'm going to make you roll it.
Okay.
As you feel that pressure that you felt building up, always stopped by the collar, it suddenly just builds up and it releases. You all watch as a gout of acid shoots out of Recalcitrix's mouth, hitting the door.
26 points of acid.
And the door, as this acid sort of washes down it and hits the floor, forming pitted pools in the floor, the door just isn't there anymore. The acid completely devouring the wood and the steel.
What was that?
Look what you can do.
That felt so
That was
good.
so awesome.
Can we all do this?
I want to do it. Can we do it? Although we probably want to get out of here, though, because old Slimey's are getting a little feisty over there.
You see a room not very big, about maybe 20 feet long, 15 feet wide, but it opens to the east. Some stairs go down and hallways go to the north and to the south. Who's taking the lead?
I'm assuming Blazewing
I was going to
always
say, is
takes
Blazewing still like going tally-ho mode?
I vote Blaze.
Which way do you want to go, Blaze?
Take the lead. You said there were stairways going down?
Stairway goes down to the east, and then you have a hallway that goes to the north or to the south.
Yeah. Down has been the right path so far, so logically down.
You head down these stairs and then to a narrow hallway. You begin wending your way through some halls. These halls are about 15 feet wide. Give me a perception check.
Everybody or just Blaze?
Everybody can do it.
18.
13.
I also got 13.
Hard 5.
18 twinsies.
Glimmurh hears nothing except the other dragons moving through the halls. Blaze, you and the others hear as the hall winds around and ends in a doorway. You hear the sound of voices, orcish voices.
Be very, very quiet. There are the bad things up in front of us. And I'd like to be as stealthy as possible as a giant dragon horse thing.
Well, there's a door in front of you, and it's on the other side of the door that you can hear these orcs.
Do the voices sound familiar?
I'm going to say no, based on the limited interaction you've had with other orcs.
Okay, so I am going to say in my best Orcish as loudly as possible, quick, come, there is a gooey cube on the loose killing us.
What did you call it?
Gooey cube.
Gooey
It's the beef bouillon cube of death.
When it hits half hit points, it doesn't get bloodied, it gets goopy.
Yes.
Nice. Give me a performance check.
Oh God. Actually, my charisma's really good because I'm shiny.
I can see Lleuadau and Pillay just like standing next to each other, like kind of like.
I like that shiny helps your voice.
Yes. So 16.
So you said come quick. Is that what you said?
Yes, everyone come quick. Gooey cube of death killing us all.
Oh no! The cube got loose! I told you we shouldn't keep it there. I don't know why they did it. Let's go!
And you hear the sounds of orcs, and you hear the clattering of weapons being pulled off a rack. And suddenly, Blazewing, in front of you, the door opens.
I need a deck save from every single one of those fuckers.
I don't want to break immersion here for a minute, but of all the orcs, only one of them thought it was a bad idea to keep the Titan's cube on the ceiling. It's fine. It's fine.
That's the smart one.
As the door opens, you see that look like somebody that charges through a door they're familiar with, and he's kind of got his head slightly down as he looks up, and I imagine he's looking into your eyes, and behind him, 5 additional orcs kind of clatter into him. So dex saves, you say?
Yes.
That's gonna be for my orcs. Where did... Oh, it's this book.
Nice name. I'm gonna say hi, Puddins.
I have so many books open right now.
They are not pudding.
What?
They could be soon.
It's a DC 13.
With a 15, they succeed.
All right. Well, they get half of 29. So whether you round up or down, it's up to you.
Unless you don't want them to succeed.
Oh yeah, reroll that.
Not that I'm rooting for you guys or anything, but I mean,
it's early in the podcast.
You're having fun with this, Mr.
Well,
J.
I mean, we've got the Domain Dice and Chameleon
Yeah, but a lot
Fam
of
and
them.
Big Bearded Nerd and Megan all paid for these for you guys. So
Yes,
we're gonna re-roll that. That is a 16 on the die this time, so that's a 17.
Okay.
So they're gonna take half of 29.
Yeah.
So that is gonna be 14 points of damage that they all take. Blazewing, what does it look like when you eliminate all 6 of these orcs in one breath?
Nice.
So as they come up, I see that front orc's head look up and his eyes get wide as he sees me before him, and I just look at him and I say, "Surprise!"
Oh shit! And that's all that comes out.
Yeah, and literally you see, like, you ever seen that video of the nuclear explosion going off and the person holding the fence?
Right.
And like the flesh just rips off of their bodies until they're nothing but skeletons. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm envisioning it, as it literally just strips them to the bone and then bursts them into ash as they collapse to the ground.
There's a tremendous clatter as now red hot pieces of armor, blackened steel swords, shields, and arrow tips and spear tips, all that remains of this small orc warband collapses to the ground, and you have, well, in a single breath, cleared this room.
Look what you just did.
So with that, I'm going to take 30 seconds to run and grab a drink. I'll be right back.
All right. So everybody comes into this room. This room is about 30 feet across from north to south. But from east to west, the direction you're facing is east. This room is about 70 feet across. And it looks like there's a set of stairs leading down to the south. This looked like it was some sort of, like, basically like an orc training room. There's weapon racks on the walls, sparring dummies, charred skeleton ash, and burnt weapons.
Are there weapons we can break?
Yeah, there's spears, swords, pole arms all along the walls.
I think I'm gonna go around and just have fun, like, breaking these weapons. Just because I can. And it's fun. And it makes a little shattering sound.
All right, so you're running in and breaking all the weapons.
Yep.
Billy will follow suit because that looks fun.
So Pilly and Lleuadau are loudly breaking all of the weapons in this room.
I think Glimmurh probably makes some more shallow graves for the orcs.
At this
Is
point,
anybody going to move us along at all?
Glimmurh just feels like to me like the cat that's just burying all the turds.
Hide it over here.
All right, so you've got one stairway leading down to the south, and actually, Glimmurh, as you're digging these shallow graves and kind of pushing burnt weapons and ash into it, as you dig in, as you start to dig down just a little bit, you get about the 2-foot mark, and your claw breaks through, and you can see 10 feet below another stone passageway. There appears to be a passage that runs underneath this room.
Guys, there's a hole here, and it goes down.
Down where?
Give me a perception check, Glimmurh.
13.
You hear the sound of heavy feet, booted feet on stone, coming from somewhere below you in where that hole is, and you can hear orc voices.
I heard something this way. Come on, let's go. Grab the others.
And you hear and the jingling of armor as these voices and footsteps are approaching rapidly.
Approaching down the hole or approaching
from the hole? Staircase? From somewhere, wherever this other passageway is, you hear it from down in the hole.
I think I want to try to like camouflage the hole. So if they look up, they're not going to be like, oh, it's a bunch of dragons that got free. To kind of like get like not like fill it in because that's going to be obvious, but like the idea is I want them to pass and then I want to finish burrowing through once they're through.
So what I want from you, I'm going to leave it up to you. It's going to be either a survival or a
stealth.
Like I was going to say stealth.
16 and 2, 18.
18 on your stealth, and that's what's that?
Do a performance check to pretend to be a rock covering it.
So as you kind of cover up and block over this hole, you hear as they pass by below. Nobody seems to have noticed.
I'm gonna look to my friends and say, guys, some of them passed by, and I think maybe we can just dig through, and then we can have a little shortcut.
I like the shortcuts.
I don't know where it's a shortcut to, but it's not. It's further away from that goopy thing. I don't like the goopy thing.
Me either.
It was quite pleasant, actually.
Well, speak for yourself. It ruined my beautiful skins.
Perception check, everybody.
23.
14.
18.
9, 7.
Anybody who got higher than a 13, from that stairway leading down to the south, you can hear the faint sounds of approaching heavy footsteps of several armored personnel.
Into the hole now, my friends.
Yeah, definite incoming.
So you're going to reopen the hole, Glimmurh, and everybody's going to go down through. All right, no rolls needed for that. As you quickly open the hole, and everybody drops down into a largest chamber that there is a passageway that leads down to the south. That seems to be the direction that these booted feet went. And there is a passageway to the northeast.
I'm going to point to the northeast passage and say they came from that way. So I think maybe that's the way out.
Indeed. Let's go.
Brilliant, little one.
Oh, thanks.
All right, so you guys are going to go that way?
Yeah.
You head that way. You find yourself rising up a couple flights of stairs. And then a hallway curves slightly to the northeast, ending in a large set of double wooden doors.
Again with these things.
Didn't that whole thing work really well the last time? I don't think we have a ton of time to really think about this.
Shall I try it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go up to the door. And
You totally got this, hun.
and then I use my acid breath on it, and it's not as effective, but we're gonna try it anyways.
What is the specifics of your... is it like a line?
It is a 20-foot line that is 5-foot wide. I would aim it directly in front of me.
Okay.
So that it would at least blow out a hole that we could all squeeze through.
All right.
But I wouldn't know that. I would just be trying it.
All right. What is the damage that your breath does?
It's 4d8, and I rolled okay. 7, 9, 14, 18. 18 acid damage.
Unfortunately, the door makes its saving throw. I'm kidding.
It's a very dexterous door.
The doors...
That's a mimic. Be careful.
The door cries out in pain. Roll for initiative. Dang, why didn't I think of that? Or did I? The door melts away.
It's a mimic!
Revealing to you first, Pilly, as you are immediately in front of it, but others can see around Pilly, that you have just opened the double doors leading into a grand hall that is 50 feet wide and appears to be about 150 feet long, stretching away from you. And inside this hall is just massive wooden feasting tables. And at the far end of the hall is a raised dais with another table at it. The tables actually sit to either side. There's a throne that sits on this dais. And it appears that the tables are... the feasting tables are unoccupied. The far tables on the far side of the room have been turned upended on their side. These heavy oak tables forming wooden barriers. On the far dais stands the robed figure of the Master Eye. Next to him, dwarfing his size, is a massive orc war chief known as Uthar Tulak, the chief of the orc warren.
I did not think you would escape so soon,
The Master Eye says to all of you.
I suppose you have come for your revenge.
I think you found him, Blazewing.
I came for dinner.
What are we waiting for? Blaze?
No, my friend. We have come for dinner. And with that, how far away are we from them?
You are about 130 feet away from them.
How, high is this?
This
ceiling?
is a great hall. We'll say that the ceilings are 30 feet high. Sort of has a vaulted kind of arching ceilings, so it's higher in the center.
Can I?
Actually, why don't we do this? Since it appears you're going to head into the room, we are going to roll for initiative. Let's see. This is going to get messy. Hold on, I got to roll some initiatives here.
My Blazewing guy.
All right, so that is going to be why did I make there be so many? I mean, wait, what? And then,
Because we all have AoE abilities. That's why.
and that's and then that one is, what's that one? Okay. All right, Pilly, what'd you get? Pilly, what'd you get for initiative?
Oh, sorry. 15.
What is your dex mod?
+1.
Okay. Lleuadau.
60.
Blazewing.
Dirty 20. So 20, 20, 20.
Recalcitrix.
6.
Glimmurh.
12.
12. Okay, here's the order. Blazewing is going first, followed by Lleuadau, followed by this thing, and then this thing, and then Pilly is 5, Glimmurh is 6, Recalcitrix is 7, this is 8, and this is 9. All right. Blazewing.
So, do I see any reinforcements aside from the two morons at the dais?
Give me a perception check. For some reason, I thought you said dance instead of dais. I was like, wait, what? Suddenly, I'm hearing that from all the 80s movies, that song, whenever there's a prom scene, it's either Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time, or actually, that's what it is. It's Time After Time. That's what I hear.
So that's a 17.
If you're lost, you can look. All right, it's what?
17.
You can see movement behind either one of these tables. There appear to be orcs barricaded behind the tables.
How close is the nearest table?
The nearest table that has orcs barricaded behind it is about, let's see, it's 150, that's 120, so it looks like it is about, we'll call it 60 feet.
Okay. Wow, okay. So take one of my full movement, unless I can attempt to fly to them.
All right. So you're going to attempt to fly.
Like take off and land right in front of him.
So I would like a dexterity check from you.
Oh, dear Lord. 18.
You unfurl wings that you have never really used for more than small hops. In the short while since this collar has been removed from your neck, and since you've escaped, these wings feel stronger. And in your very first use of the wings, you feel them fill with air and your body lift. And in just a couple of quick flaps of your wings, you find yourself moving rapidly across the room.
All right. So I'm going to land right in front of that table. I'm tall enough to sort of like, so here's table, and here's my head, like that.
Yeah, you're tall enough that you can see over the table for sure.
Okay, and they're grouped behind this table.
Yeah, there's a half a dozen, left or right.
We'll go left. Sure.
Yeah, there's a half a dozen orcs cowering as you suddenly fly over and land heavily. Or do you land?
Yeah, oh, okay. I never thought about that. Yeah, I would probably land just because this is like something completely new to me and it's freaking me the hell out.
Give me a dexterity check.
Yeah, I would probably land. It's cocked. Oh, okay. That is 19.
19. You are able to land with a little bit of a skid. No problem.
Okay. And I skid right up to the stopping point right up next to the table, and I just peer over to him, and I go, yummy. And then dexterity saving throws.
How does what's the effect of your breath?
It's a 15-foot cone.
All right, so I'm going to grab all of my d20s. Move out of the way here. All right, so I'm just going to roll them all at once. Let's see. What's their dex? So that is a dirty 20. What's the DC?
13.
Literally, I forgot. Okay, yeah. Literally only 2 of them save.
All right, so it's 23 and then halved for whoever saved.
Well, shit. All right, you just barbecued another half dozen orcs.
Blazewing was really fond of the caretaker, so you know, it's just in the name of the caretaker. I forgot his name.
In the name of the caretaker, who I don't remember his name. I will give a point of inspiration to whoever remembers his name.
Thraka. I knew it too.
Rocky. All right, everybody but Blazewing gets a point of inspiration.
Kidding.
All right. I guess that would be Lleuadau. Yes, I said that right.
Yeah, you said it right. Yeah, Lleuadau.
I second guessed myself as soon as I said it.
Yeah, ouch. Sorry. You're good. So I think after seeing Blazewing do that, I'm going to, especially because I dream of flying, I'm going to attempt flying as well and work my way up a bit too. Now, are there orcs flanking on the other side?
There's another table with orcs hiding behind that one.
I'm going to mirror what he did then.
Dexterity check to get airborne.
Airborne. And that's going to be 15.
You also unfurl large silvery wings and reach into the air in front of you and find yourself rapidly gliding through the air. I know you're a silver, but for some reason I have pictured you blue this entire
they're kind
time.
of bluish when they're young.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
have
it
a
is. It has nothing to
picture.
do with blue being the predominant color of your channel.
Or, the eyes.
All right. So are you going to attempt to land as well?
I think I'm going to hover.
All right. So you
And
kind of... And what are you going to do?
I'm just going to open up nice and big and say, "Hi, guys," and let out a cold, chilling breath.
All right. I feel like I
And
should
they
have
have
it.
to do
There
a
it is.
Constitution save.
All right. Let's see. Orcs are pretty good with con. 6 d20s I'm rolling. So that is... What's the DC?
13.
So that's 1 save at 14, 1 at 18, 11 fails, 8 fails, 10 fails, 10 fails. Again,
Okay.
all 4 of the 6 fail.
All right, so the ones who succeed take half. And then I got an extra roll. Hold on. That's going to be 13 points.
What does it look like when you open your mouth and let out this cold breath and freeze half a dozen orcs?
It's like an icy fog just starts pouring out of my mouth, and it's sort of like, Dr. Frost type of thing. And they just sort of like get this buildup of frost around them.
There are now half a dozen orc sickles in front of you. And it is... Ah, yes. The Master Eye from the far side of the room, seeing this, yells, "Release it now!" And you hear... And Blazewing and Lleuadau, you can now see from where you are, there's a couple of small alcoves. I say small, they're about 40 feet. They go back in about 15 feet. And you see on either side these stone doors raising up. And you hear this horrific as these disgusting looking, they look like grayish wet giant birds rapidly just coming into the room as 2 dire cockatrices.
Guys, it's called One Flew Over the Cockatrice's Nest.
You had to have known there was going to be a cockatrice in here at some point. As these 2 creatures come into the room and let's see what they are going to do. They are... Hold on, I gotta move this so I can see it. Make sure I didn't screw something up. Okay. So it is... Both of them leap into the air, and they are comparable in size to all but Blazewing. All right, I'm going to close that. As they leap into the air, and one is going to attack Blazewing, and one is going to, as it leaps through the air, closing the distance and comes down at you, Blazewing, it is going to attack you for... a 12.
That misses.
As its jaws snap in front of you. And the other one jumps through the air, leaping at Lleuadau. And that is a 15. That's a miss.
17.
Teeth raking across scales, but not finding purchase. as these two gangly birds crash to the ground. It is now the dead orcs' turn, so they're going to continue to be dead. And that takes us to Pilly.
Oh boy. Pilly is going to, seeing her friends unfurl their wings, she's going to do the same and attempt to fly. Because it looks like a lot of fun.
All right, dexterity.
That was an 18. 19.
You succeed in lifting yourself with your metallic coppery wings effortlessly into the air. And where are you flying to?
I'm going to fly up because I know... Oh, wait. Yes, that's a 6. I know that I can do acid breath now. So I'm going to go fly over to the Cockatrice, that over towards that area, to try to get them in a line, because no one hurts Lleuadau.
All right, in order to do that, you're going to have to go in the air by the one that's also in the air next to Lleuadau, and kind of angle down towards the other one. And because of that, basically the way that line goes, you will hit Lleuadau in the spray if you try to get both of them.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that. I would just spray the one that was attacking her.
All right. So that is a dex save?
Yes, DC 11.
And because you're a copper, I'm going to use my Easy Roller Dice Company Cursed Copper D20.
I hope it is.
And that is a nat 20 for the saving throw. That is not a nat 20. As you knock me down a peg. And I'm going to leave that at where it is because the 4 is broken for whatever reason.
I just rolled max damage.
All right, so let me re-roll. I'm going to re-roll the same die. I kid you not. I'm going to grab the tray. I don't know if you can see that. That is another nat 20 on that same die.
Can I use a domain die?
Yes.
All right, if I roll another nat 20, I'm going to move the dice tray here so I can more easily show
this
it.
one happening?
Same one, copper
1 in
die.
8,000.
Bad roll juju.
You're not going to believe this.
Shut up.
Critical
7.
fail.
Oh, good.
All right, so hold on a second.
Hold the
That
power
went
of
from
statistics.
14 to 13. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, not 13, 8. I'm keeping track of your dice closely as you're making me re-roll on these.
And don't forget, for those watching, you can always purchase more for us for just $5.
So 2 crit nat 20s to a critical fail. And you rolled max damage?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
32 acid damage.
Oh my gosh. There's this horrific as acid burns into it. I'm going to make it nope. It flaps its wings and it just drops to the ground. Kind of, it doesn't like fall, but it drops to the ground. There's the sound of shattering frozen orcs as it crashes on top of them. Wow.
Nicely done, hun.
That takes us to Glimmurh.
I'm gonna look at Recalcitrix standing here in the hallway with me while all our friends are doing cool things. Be like, did you see that? That was neat. What is left? Like, there's these 2 cockatrices, dire cockatrices. Sorry. There's the 2 gentlemen on the far side, barricaded behind what I assume is several banquet tables.
They're actually not behind tables. They're on a dais, standing in front of the throne. It's Chief.
It's like 120 feet away.
Yeah, Chief Uthar Tulak and the Master Eye, the Eye of Grumsh.
Okay, and then does it look like there's any like other barricaded orcs?
Give me a perception or investigation.
Sure. That is a perception of 16.
It looks like in this room, that's the dead orcs and the two at the far end are all that are here.
Okay. I'm going to try to fly to the table, but I'm going to try to fly only 50 feet toward the table. And I have a dexterity check of a 13.
You struggle a little bit.
Sure.
I picture it like you have to kind of like hop, skip. You're like doosh, doosh, and on the third try, all of a sudden it's like, and you kind of fly up a little bit and drop and fly up. It's very unfamiliar to you, but
Sure.
you are able to get
the whole way.
airborne.
I'm going to be like, whee! And then I'm going to land like, I guess 50 feet forward, and I'm going to use my last 10 feet of movement to kind of burrow as low as I can go to give myself some extra cover.
All right, I will allow that.
Gotta hope no acid pools in there.
Well, if it does, I'll move. But so that's I think that's my whole turn. I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything else.
All right,
everything's mostly dead around.
Well,
me.
I mean that was all movement.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, is there a way to like snip at one of the cockatrices? I don't know, like where we are.
How far did you go?
I moved up like 50 feet, so I'm like on the
and because you burrowed down,
street.
you're still with the one that's where they're at on the ground. You're still about 10 or 15 feet away from either of them. So yeah, that would end your turn. Recalcitrix.
Wait, can I double move then?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna get closer to the gentleman on the dais, and then do the same.
All right, so if you went 50,
so it'd be like 100 feet, so I'm like 20 feet away from them.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
kind
You
of
can
like
basically and you're gonna burrow down again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of end up a little ways in, like more or less just in front of the dais.
Okay.
And kind of burrow yourself into this like miniature defilade position under the edge. Sorry, army term. All right, now Recalcitrix.
So Recalcitrix is looking around, and Blazewing's got it under control with this Cockatrice, and Lleuadau's got the orcs under control, and Pilly's got that guy under control, and Glimmurh's going after the two big baddies, and that's great. There are things behind us, so she's going to take a look-see to see if there's any of those orcs coming back down the hallway.
Give me a perception check.
Big old 9.
You don't see anything, and you don't hear anything, but there's a lot of noise coming from inside this great hall.
Sorry.
All right, with nothing coming behind us.
It's mostly the sound of Glimmurh going, wee!
Then why should he have all the fun? So she's going to try to fly as well.
All right.
But I'm thinking she's going towards the Cockatrice with Blazewing there.
Okay. So
That's
dexterity check to get airborne.
No, I would like to use a domain die if I could.
That's what they're there for.
That's better. How about a 14?
That's enough. It takes you a couple running leaps, and then you get up into the air.
Yeah, and I would so the Cockatrice is actually down on the ground. Is that right? Beside Blazewing?
Yeah, both of them are on the ground now. So
yeah, she's going to go behind the Cockatrice, so they're kind of flanking him, and bite because her weapon is not ready yet. Do I have to do dex save to land? Is that or dex?
Yes, if you're going to try to land, you need to make a dex save.
Yeah. That would be an 11. So not so graceful.
You go in for the landing like you saw everybody else, and you find that your momentum is just carrying you a bit. and the ground actually comes up quicker than you expected. It's kind of like when you get to the bottom of the stairs and you think there's another stair there, and you kind of stomp into the ground a little bit, and you skid and crash into the table barricade next to Blazewing. And you find yourself kind of lying in a heap next to the Cockatrice also. So you still can't attack it. You're just doing so from from essentially a prone position.
Okay, well, I will try to snap at it as well. That would be a 17.
That is going to hit.
Okay. So it does 8 piercing damage and 3 acid damage.
All right. Another... This time from this Cockatrice as you bite into it. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's see. I have so many places open. I just dropped one. Where'd they go? Sorry, literally, as I went to turn to my stat block, I closed that part for some reason. Where the... You know, there's a reason they put letters down here on the side of the monster manual. Alright. You hear from up at the dais, you hear the sound of the eye making some kind of muttering. And he waves his hand in the air, and that is close enough. So I'm going to determine randomly of basically all there. So it just it's probably for the best that you're not being targeted, Glimmurh. Lleuadau, you are being targeted as next to you appears what appears to be a large spectral axe, as the Eye of Grumsh casts a spiritual weapon next to you. And he immediately with making a motion, causes it to attack you. What is his spellcasting modifier? That is a 19 to hit. Does that hit you?
That hits me.
You take 11 points of damage. Force damage. Oh, wait, no, that's not +3. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Sorry, that is it. So, that's 11 points of force damage as this magical thing slams into you. And with a growl, the war chief leaps off of the dais. And because you are dug down into a pit, I'm going to make him attack at disadvantage, Glimmurh, because he saw you burrow into the thing in front of you. He just leaps. And as he does so, he whips off his spear off of his back with kind of a...
Stinking dragons!
And so at disadvantage, that first attack is a... At disadvantage is a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And
sure does.
I'll go ahead and roll the second. At disadvantage is a 14 to hit.
The 14 will miss.
Okay, so the first hit with his spear, as he drives it in one-handed, you are going to take... he puts the fury of the orc god Grumsh behind this. So you're going to take 1d6 and 1d8.
Come on.
So that's 6 plus. You take 11 points
Okay.
of piercing damage as he just jabs in with this spear at you. How many hit points do you have?
I have 3 left.
All right. Fortunately, he used both of his attacks to try to get you with his spear.
2 left. I'm fine.
As the spear just finds a weak spot coming in from above and gets in between your scales, driving into your flesh. And we are... That was one round of combat. We are back up to the top of the order with Blazewing. You have a Cockatrice next to you and a heap of Recalcitrix. You are muted, sir.
I'm going to, let's see if I recharge. I'm not. So I'm going to bite attack the Cockatrice.
All right.
That's 11. I'm gonna re-roll that.
All right. It takes you guys down to 6 domain dice.
And that's a crit. That was worth it.
Oh, nice.
That was totally worth it. Okay.
So as a reminder, crits are automatic max damage, and then roll your damage dice one more time and add that to the max.
Okay. So that's 22 piercing damage.
As you bite into this thing, that's what you did, right? You bit?
Yes.
You bite into this thing, you just get a mouthful of leathery flesh with some feathers, and you bite into part of its neck, and it can't quite joke out, just kind of a... Can't even get it screech out. And the blood, you feel the warm blood pouring across your teeth. It's not dead yet, but it's not very great. Sorry.
I look down to Recalcitrix. I'm like, it tastes like chicken.
You've never eaten a chicken. You don't know what that tastes like.
Tastes like an Orcs.
That's going to be Lleuadau.
Alright, so I'm guessing I can't fight the spiritual weapon.
No, the spiritual weapon, no, you can't really fight that.
But if I move, it gets attack of opportunity, right?
That is a
I
good
don't think
question.
so.
No?
No,
It
no,
has to
no,
use a
because
bonus action to attack.
yeah, because he has to, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
not, it's
So-
not a target that,
It doesn't count for like sneak attack or anything either.
right?
Okay, so I could theoretically keep flying forward towards Mr. I.
Yeah, you got about 60 more feet to cross to get to him.
That I can do, and then I'm gonna hopefully be able to. Nope.
No more dexterity checks are required. And one, you all succeeded on learning to fly,
Nice.
so you can just do it now. I just
Okay.
wanted there to be a test for that first time trying to fly.
But no.
Except for Recalcitrix, you can fly. You
can't
still
land.
need to work on your landing.
Okay. Still got the crash landing thing going on. That's
All right,
okay.
so you're gonna fly
launch pad
towards
up.
the
I'm
eye.
gonna fly towards Mr. I because he killed my friend.
All right.
All right. So going to roll for attack, right?
Yeah, if that's what you're gonna do.
Yep.
How are you attacking?
I have to roll the d6 first,
Yeah,
right?
roll the d6 to see if you recharge your breath.
5?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Oh,
Recharge,
okay, cool.
recharges on a 5 and 6. Or 6.
Okay. Okay. I thought I'd be 6. Okay. So then I am going to use. This is tempting. I could do paralyzing breath on him.
Well, you can do it on both of them, can you?
Yeah.
No, because
No? Are they
the
not
Orc
standing
War
next to each
Chief
other?
jumped down
Oh,
and is
that's right.
engaged
That's right.
with
Right. He moved.
Glimmer in the Glimmurh pit.
Which
Which sounds like a weird like club that you would find on the west side of
Glimmurh pit,
Chicago.
all right.
Everyone, let's go to the Glimmurh pit
Glimmurh pit.
tonight.
It sounds like something that for sure ends up on RuPaul's Drag Race.
It has to now.
Newest nightclub in Waterdeep, the Glimmurh Pit.
The Glimmer Pit.
Now I'm going to go with the cold breath again because he can do saving throws with the paralyzing breath. This is a little bit more effective.
All right.
Okay, so that's going to be... All right. That's a total of, God, I cannot math tonight, 23 points, I believe. Yep, 23 points.
I suppose I have to make a dex save.
And you have to make the dex save to see if he takes.
I'm like, why are you rolling for damage? I get.
He doesn't have to try to avoid it. He can just take it like.
You could just take it like a man.
Like
the cocky orc that he is.
He looks up at you with a smirk on his face.
I will teach you a lesson yet.
And he doesn't even try to move because he doesn't think you can hurt him. But you do. How much damage did you do to him?
23 points, baby.
As he says, I will teach you as he takes all this cold damage. He's frosted over. He's got like the tips of his fangs have like ice hanging off of them. And his skin has more of a bluish tint to it than a green tint. It is the Cockatrice's turns. So, you know what? You would take an opportunity attack from the Cockatrice, though.
Was it still next to me?
It was knocked down.
No, it got knocked down.
Oh, that's right. You were still in the air. I forgot.
Yeah,
I had you down on the ground. You are correct.
She still hasn't quite learned to land yet.
So, the one...
I'm not going to try.
is going to try basically wrench itself free from Blazewing's bite and immediately try to bite Blazewing. While the other one is going to flap across and try to attack at Recalcitrix. I think a 10 misses Blazewing.
Very much so.
As it just snaps futilely at you. The other one flies in, lands next to the Recalcitrix, getting advantage because you are prone. With advantage, that is a dirty 20 to hit Recalcitrix.
That is going to hit.
You are going to take 10 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
14 on the con save. Oh, sorry. 16 on the con save.
Oh. As it bites into you and you take the damage from its bite, you feel the flesh around its bite begin to stiffen. But then it stops. And that's all the damage you take from it. As we jump to the dead orcs are still dead. Pilly, you're up. And you were over in that fray too with those two, I believe.
Yeah, I was the one that
you
knocked down.
She was
Yeah,
on.
she was with me.
Yeah, so you're still up in the air too. Okay.
yes.
I had flipped you in my mind for some reason. You were on the other side. It's not like I have a paper here that I can mark your position on or anything. Anyway, so yes, it is now below you. What would you like to do? Or no, it moved over to the other side. So what would you like to do?
Is the what's his name? Is the Master Eye still?
The Master Eye and the is engaged with well, not technically engaged because he got breathed on from above, but below her and in front, the War Chief is actually skewering Glimmurh in a small burrow.
And the Cockatrice is alive below you.
No, that jumped over to your side. Both of them are on your side.
Let's see if I have my breath back. Nope, I don't. I'm going to head down towards the chief and try to bite at him from above. I'm not going to land.
Okay.
If I can reach him.
Yeah, you can get to him. Go ahead and make a bite attack on him.
Natural 20!
Nice. I love crits, even if they're against me. So max damage for your bite, plus roll the dice one more time and add them all together.
16 total. Oh, 18 total.
18 total.
And that's just piercing damage.
He cries out more in surprise. What? As you bite into him.
You taste terrible.
Glimmurh, on the end of his spear, which has just been withdrawn,
Good.
as he was as Pilly bit into him, you are bleeding in the pit of your own making.
It's true. To be fair, the pit was still a good idea. Are the war chief and the cleric still within 15 feet of each other and also me?
Yes.
See, the thing that a lot of people don't know about Glimmurh is he is allergic to rude people. And so he, after being stabbed with a spear, goes... And I need them both to make Constitution saving throws.
Okay.
And I know that they have good con, but I'm dead. I'm dead if they like. This is the only thing that I can do to live right now. So,
sorry. I was distracted by a comment in Twitch. Can you take a look at that, V? They're making con saves, you said?
they are.
So, the Eye of Grumsh has a 21 for his con
Okay.
save, and the War Chief has a dirty 20 for his con save.
I need him to re-roll that con save, the war chief.
The War Chief you're going to make re-roll. So that is going to put you guys at 5 remaining. And I will re-roll the War Chief. That is now a 19 for the save.
It's a bummer. Okay. They made it through my sleep breath, which is a DC 11. So,
So is there any residual effect to that, or it just fails?
it just fails.
Okay.
Yeah. I will try to take as much cover as I can. I don't know where the bedrock is in here, but
So you're going
I'm
to try to
gonna-
burrow in more?
I'm gonna try to burrow in all the way. Like, I want to bury myself in the earth.
You actually can do that.
I do that.
Okay. You're not finding any bedrock here.
Oh, good.
Let's see. That was. Hold on. My sheet got moved. Who is next? Recalcitrix.
So I'm going to see if I have breath. Yes, I rolled a 5.
All right.
So, so that right now there's 2 cockatrices by me, right?
That is correct.
Well, you and Blazewing.
And Blazewing. I'm going to try to line them up so that I can breathe on both of them, because it's a 15-foot line that I can breathe. And if I get Blazewing, well, I get Blazewing.
Nice. So this is a dexterity save for everybody?
Yeah, DC 11 dex save.
All right. Dex save, Blazewing. 1 dire Cockatrice has a 12. Really, I rolled 11 on both of them. They both fail.
22 here.
Okay, so I rolled really poorly on the damage. So it's 14 acid damage if you failed your save and half if you made it.
All right. And you were targeting both of the Cockatrices?
Yes.
And so 14 if they failed.
Yep.
I don't believe this. You just... What does it look like, Recalcitrix, when from laying on the ground with your acid breath, you kill both of the cockatrices?
So Recalcitrix is down there, kind of in the puddle of her own making. She kind of turns around and just kind of levels her head and aims this putrid stream of green, kind of steaming goo, and it goes straight towards the cockatrice and covers both of them. And a little bit happens to splash upon Blazewing as well, because he wasn't quite fast enough to get out of the way, because she didn't warn him. And as it hits what they have is for feathers or whatever, it just kind of sizzles, and this stench is just horrible as they kind of melt and collapse. And then I would like to take my movement to try to right myself so that I am no longer on my back.
All right, it takes half your movement to right yourself. And you do so.
Yeah, and I am good at that point.
All right. Let's see. That was Recalcitrix. The eye looks up at... Let's see. How far can he move that?
20
you
feet.
Got lucky. Is it a bonus action to dismiss it?
It's not an action to dismiss it. It's just a thing that you start.
Okay.
It's not a concentration spell, so I don't know if there would be a reason to dismiss it. It just kind of stays there.
The reason would be to dismiss it and recast it closer.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Because I think that's what he is going to do. And I don't think it's not going to grant a mechanical advantage to you, but I don't know that you would even... You would see him casting Lleuadau as he kind of makes a motion and makes another motion. Anybody else looking would see as it seems to emerge from nothingness behind and above Lleuadau. This giant spectral spear appears in the air and then thrusts down at Lleuadau. And as I said, it's no mechanical advantage, just for flavor that it appeared behind you. As he rolls the attack for a 14.
Misses.
You see this spectral spear just dart past your face, missing. And you hear an orcish curse from him. It is now the war chief's turn as he spins his spear around, having released it from Glimmurh, and takes it in two hands as he pulls away from Pilly and tries to quickly pierce at you, Pilly, with the spear. And so that first attack is a 24 to hit.
Yes, the 24 does hit.
As it punctures into your dragon form, withdrawing, and he tries to stab you a second time, but misses. But that first one, with the... let's see, how's that? If when used, hits with an extra attack. Okay, you are going to take the 2d8 plus the 1d8 of Grumptious Fury. So that is 8, 6 is 14, 15, 16, 17, 21 points of piercing damage as this spear jams into you.
Pilly screams out. She's definitely hurt. She's still fine, but she's hurt.
I knew the dragons were a terrible idea. I will skewer all of you.
And that's back to Blazewing.
Okay. Let's check recharge. It's toast time. All right. Can I fly into a position where I'd be able to get both of them in the 15-foot cone? Actually, you know what? How are they looking?
The eye is effectively, he will say, this is 4th edition, but he's bloodied. But the war chief looks as strong as ever. And you have Pilly kind of hovering above him, skewered by his spear.
Okay, I'm just trying to determine what breath I want to use. Is his spear a strength-based attack? Would I be able to tell if he's really just like being dexterous with it, or is he? Like, really just,
I mean, it's very clear with his attacks that his muscles. I mean, this guy is just rippling orc muscle, and he's using strength on these attacks.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to use my fire breath. That's fine. Dex saves from both of them.
And you said it's a cone, right?
Yeah, 15-foot cone.
Pilly is going to have to make that save too. In order to get both of them, and with it being a cone, you're going to catch Pilly. Would you still do it?
Who's on the eye right now? Who's closest to the eye?
That would be Lleuadau. She's already done some pretty significant cold damage to it.
Okay, so I will adjust it then and trust in Lleuadau to handle the eye. And I will just... I'll flame ball him right in the eyeball if I have to.
Okay.
Like, I'll get right up next to him. Just
perfect.
Full blast right into his eye socket.
I'm going to use this D20, see if it makes it... You know what? I haven't rolled the Atcon D20 all night. I'm going to roll my Atcon D20. And... what's your save?
DC 13.
It's a dex.
Yep.
That is a 5.
Yeah! Get it.
As you get up in his face, he just turns and looks you right in the face, growling, spittle dripping off of his orc fangs. Like, he doesn't even have a clue what you're about to do, and he doesn't look like he cares. That'll change.
Yeah, I blast him for 30 flame damage. I had an 8, a 2, and 2 10s.
His grimace and his screams are lost in the roar of your flames as he staggers backwards as your flame releases, and any hair that he had is burned away. His eyebrows, his eyelashes, his lips seem to be curled back. If it weren't so serious, it would almost be funny, and maybe if Glimmurh were up here to see it, he might make a joke that he does effectively look like a cartoon, that the top half of him is all blackened. You can just see the sort of yellows of his eyes and the yellows of his teeth as he staggers a bit, but he's still standing. Lleuadau. I always second guess your name when I say it right.
You say it right the first time. All right, I made sure to roll, and I got a 5 again. So ha.
All right.
So I'm going after Mr. I.
Another breath.
Yep, another cold breath.
Every breath you take, every
And I've already
move
rolled
you
that.
make.
I'll be watching you.
I'm not rolling the Atcon die again. That sucked.
Oh, come on.
Let's see. I'm going to roll this one.
Do it, yeah.
Actually, I haven't rolled this one in a bit. I'm going to roll this one. That is a nat 10.
Yeah, me.
What is it? Con save or dex save?
Con save.
That is a 13.
What's that?
A wolf named Sam has dropped. And also, I forgot to give you guys... hold hold on. I wanted to do this because it's not on there as one of the criteria. But a little bit ago, Forge Breaker raided us, and I've been giving domain dice for raids as well.
Thanks, Forge Breaker.
And thanks to a wolf named Sam for the bits.
I'm thinking maybe a reroll.
So, wait. For what?
Or his check.
What was your
For
DC?
that natural 10-year-old.
I got an 11.
You got an 11?
Yeah.
Oh, you failed it then.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, wait, you want me to try again?
Oh, I thought you had made it. Okay,
Yeah.
so then the beautiful thing is I also made sure to roll ahead of time, so that's 20 points of cold damage.
20 points of cold damage.
Ice, baby.
How do you kill the Eye of Grumsh?
You shouldn't have killed my friends. And it's just like almost like this icicles shooting from my mouth and impaling him as they rain down upon him.
Hey, V.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
And then I'm gonna look over to Blazewing.
You said this is like ice raining down on him.
Like icicles, sharp icicles, pointed icicles.
And they tear him to shreds.
Beautiful.
The sign you have of his death, besides his shredded corpse falling to the ground, is next to you. That spectral spear just kind of fizzles out as the Eye of Grumsh, the Master Eye, is now dead. All that remains is the War Chief. And it is... The Cockatrices will remain dead, so will the Orcs remain dead. Pilly, you've been pretty wounded by this, pretty severely wounded by this War Chief. His spear pulled out of your chest as Blazewing blasted him. You took no damage from it, but you felt the heat of Blazewing's attack.
That's very hot.
5. Okay.
I love the excitement of everybody rolling a 5 or 6 on their breath recharge.
I'm going to acid breath him. I'm gonna try to angle it so I don't get any of the other dragons. But other than that,
well, I think you can do that just fine. So that is a Dex save.
yes, DC 11.
All right. That is a total of 16, 15 on the die.
Okay.
Reroll.
Let's reroll.
All right, we're gonna re-roll that. Take you down. We gonna rock down to Reroll Avenue. Sorry. That's a 4.
Yeah, we'll take
A
that
total
one.
of 4.
Yeah, we'll take that. You take 16 acid damage.
Let's see. So that's.
Is he dead, Mr. J?
He is not. As you burn into him with the acid, his flesh ripping off of his shoulder and part of his arm, and you can actually see as the muscle rips away at his left arm from the acid, you can see the white of bone through his arm as he grimaces, but he still holds his ground.
Before that in my turn, Pilly looks at Blaze and says,
Blaze, do you think he tastes better crispy?
I would have to agree with that assumption.
He's awful.
Glimmurh.
We're eating orc tonight.
I also rolled a 5 on my recharge, which is very exciting for me.
Awesome.
I'm gonna move like 5 feet away from him underground, and then kind of just reverse whack-a-mole, where I am the mole and he is the whacker because he whacked me good. But I think Glimmurh like emerges from the ground, kind of like disappointed that his breath weapon wasn't cool like everyone else's. And then he like tries again, and this time I'm actually going to use the fire breath. So I need a dexterity saving throw from him.
I want you to roll a stealth first.
Okay.
Because I want to see if he notices anything happening below his feet.
That's a nat 20, so that's a 22.
Let's see. Which beats his 17 perception.
Jesus.
So you can take... I'm going to roll at disadvantage on his save. So that would have been an 18, but is instead an 11.
11 does save. That is the DC.
Oh. All right.
You know what? Can you... So if you use one of these domain dice on a disadvantaged roll, do you re-roll twice?
The way I've been doing it is I just re-roll, and take the lower of the two.
He can't succeed more. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of the domain dice.
So, all right, I'm just going to leave that there because the 4 is broken. So that is a 10.
10 fails, and this is really exciting for me because I got a set of dice from Greg Tito that I won in a raffle, and it comes with 46s, and I just rolled them all, and it's 3 6s and a 5.
Yeah,
that is 23 points of fire damage.
Yeah.
So that is 4 more than was needed to kill the Orc War Chief. So Glimmurh.
Yeah!
How does Glimmurh kill the Orc War Chief?
He breathes a line of fire, but I think Glimmurh is more surprised by it than like happy that the Orc Chief is dead. Like, he's not really pumped about killing things in general, but the fire that erupts from him is so shocking to him that it like pushes him underground again for a moment, and he comes up with like dirt falling from his face. And he looks around. And he says, "Did we do it?
You did it, Puddin'. Good job."
I want all 5 of you to roll.
Oh no!
I want you to roll. I gotta figure out what I want you to roll. I want you to roll nature.
Nature.
Right? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it
It's intelligence.
It's intelligence.
No. Oh, perfect. 13.
Oh, whopping 11.
I also got an 11.
What is this thing you called nature? I got a 3.
What is an intelligence modifier? I don't know.
Who is this Greg Tito?
How about Blazewing?
16.
I got a 13.
All right. Blazewing. Here's what happens. As Glimmurh, you come up excited. Everybody, you realize that everything in this room is dead. And then you hear heavy feet on the floor. As from that south area where you burned through the double doors, dozens and dozens of orc warriors pour into the room. From the left and the right, where the cockatrices came, from somewhere in the shadows, dozens of more from each side, orcs, filter into the room. Crossbows, spears, swords, axes, all at the ready. Heavy battle shields. As they filter into the room, there's easily close to 100 orcs surrounding you, almost completely surrounding you in this room. And as they're pouring in, and you're realizing you've got quite a big fight ahead of you, Blazewing, your scales, you feel your golden scales almost vibrate. Your entire body begins to just this that you can feel. You have never felt anything like this before. And Blazewing, and the rest of you around you would see this as Blazewing's scales begin to glow golden. Gold light, as if flames were reflecting off from 1,000 gold coins, begins to shimmer around the room. And then you all hear and feel from above. Big chunks of ceiling begin to fall down into the room all around you. A couple big chunks landing on and killing some of the orcs. The orcs instinctively hold shields up. From above, as there's another crash and another crash, and then finally a tremendous bassy roar fills the cavern below you as brilliant sunlight, golden sunlight, streams in from the room above. And looking up, Blazewing, you see first the long beards of an adult golden dragon looking down through the hole it's just made in the ceiling. It reaches in with its claws, ripping apart chunks of the wall. With another claw, it reaches down, leaning into the room, and it kind of makes a scooping motion and pushes Blazewing, Recalcitrix, backwards towards where the others are, towards the dais. And this massive adult dragon drops into the room. It looks back at you, Blazewing, and then its tail kind of flicks across to your scales. And then the room erupts in brilliant hot flame, and you hear screaming orcs. And you smell burning orc flesh. You can hear the of receding footsteps as some of the orcs appear to have escaped. But there are dozens and dozens and dozens of dead, burnt orc corpses. The dragon turns and looks at you.
We didn't think we would ever find you. For over 5 years we have searched for you.
And you realize something, all of you. This dragon is not speaking in Orcish. There is an almost musical quality to its voice, something you have never heard before. As you realize on some instinctual level that this dragon is speaking in Draconic. Another gold dragon, this one slightly smaller, a female, tears apart at the roof, opening it up even further. Recalcitrix, Glimmurh, Lleuadau, Pilly, as this golden light reflecting off of the scales, the sunlight of daylight out in the open air, there's this blueness up beyond them that you have never seen before, but you can sense it, that it seems to go on forever. And this warmth and this light that is streaming in from a part of this thing, this blue expanse that's bright and almost yellow, it's light coming in and hitting you and hitting your scales. All of you feel this sunlight warm over your scales, and you feel a shift in yourselves as for the first time in 5 years, natural sunlight has touched you, and a magical transformation takes place in each of you as you sort of, before everyone's eyes, nearly double in size as you reach young state. You cross over from being Wyrmlings into true young dragons.
We will take all of you back to your families.
The female comes in, leans in low to the only chromatic dragon in here, sniffing at Recalcitrix. Her lips peel back from her teeth, which her hot brimstone breath next to you, Recalcitrix.
I know your father. He is one of my greatest enemies. But I will return you to him. All of you are now free. You know how to fly?
As she
Really
looks around
immediately
at all of you. And you see a dragon grin as she smiles at you. Unintentional ab-tab reference.
You, Silva, you fly.
You don't have to tell me twice. And I'm flying after Philly.
Little Brass, come out of your burrow. Come up into the sky, where you don't need to hide.
Okay.
And almost sensing your reluctance and seeing how small you are, she scoops a massive taloned claw and just scoops you up and kind of lifts you up into the air and then just drops her hand away from you, kind of giving you that little boost up into the air. With her other claw, she scoops Recalcitrix up. And maybe with a little less care, but not too violently, flips you up into the air as well. The big gold male dragon, still curling its tail around you, Blazewing, says,
Let us fly together, son. You have much to learn.
As the now 7 dragons fly off into the sky, the 5 of you, now young dragons, emerge like the people in the allegory of Plato's cave. You thought you knew what the world was around you, and suddenly the expanse of the world has opened up before you, and you see the landscapes that you have only seen in your dreams, now a reality below you. And that is the end of One Flew Over the Cockatrice's Nest.
Guys, we made it. We're all alive.
I was worried there for a little bit.
We're all barely alive.
God, yeah.
Couple of you got pretty skewered.
Yeah.
I was there. There was a point in the middle there where I started to scramble, thinking, "Oh man, they are way more powerful than I thought. What can I throw at them?" And I decided, no. I planned this. This is what's in here. I'm just gonna roll with what I have. I'm not lying, I briefly considered throwing a giant purple worm at you guys. But that's like CR 16. And I wasn't trying to TPK you guys. Really, the nature check at the end, all that was whoever rolled the highest, that's whose parents were coming to the rescue.
Oh, cool.
I really would have wanted to know what would have happened if Recalcitrix's family had shown
Yeah.
up.
We'd all be dead. All of us would die.
Yeah.
Yummy snacks.
No, I kind of had a general idea.
I'm going up with the orcs.
So there was one thing I kind of wanted to do, but I wasn't going to force it if narratively it worked. And really what I was playing with is I didn't want to steal agency from you at any time. I really don't like to do that. But you know that classic tropey scene in the movies where the wimpy little character makes a gesture at a bunch of bad guys and suddenly they all cower in fear? And then the camera reveals that there's a much bigger thing behind them. I so wanted to do that with Glimmurh. As the orcs came in, I wanted there to be Glimmurh kind of face looking up at them, and then they all cower back, and there's a giant brass dragon that's just burrowed through the wall behind them. But it didn't quite work narratively, and I felt like that would have pulled agency a little bit. All right, so what'd you guys think?
That was a blast.
That was so much
That was a
fun.
lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun.
So much fun.
By the way, I got down to 4 hit points.
I knew you were getting pretty low when you...
Two more than
job.
me.
Yeah, that was touch and
You
go.
got, yeah, you got really close, which is good. It means it was evenly
Right.
balanced.
Yeah, I had actually thought that there might be more orcs in the hall. I didn't expect that. I mean, really, with the breath weapons, it just comes down to if they recharge or not, and that made the difference for those attacks against those. Where you guys just, that was my mistake for putting them all together. It was a bad tactical decision, but it made sense in the term of the story because they've never faced off against dragons. So yeah, there actually was a bit of. I played a little loose with the map. The map was one that I grabbed from Dyson Logos, Dyson's Dodecahedron. He has tons of maps that he makes available for free. And actually, it's kind of interesting.
Dyson, you're amazing. I love you.
Yeah.
Dyson, some of Dyson's maps are in the new forthcoming Waterdeep Dungeons of the Mad Mage. I followed Dyson for a long time, and for these kind of one shots, I've used maps like this to represent spaceships in Harbinger games.
Why not?
So, yeah, and I just like running these Affairs of Dragons game. Let you guys play as dragons and change things up. Great idea. I honestly didn't plan it to be available this way, and I actually put the gelatinous cube in at the last second because I was like, oh yeah, there was supposed to be something here. And then I thought, oh, the Splorch reference will be funny. And then when I realized it was doing acid damage, I was like, oh man, I wonder if they'll realize they can use this thing to break free. They don't need the amulet.
You know what's funny is as soon as you said there was a gelatinous cube, I'm like, ooh, I know exactly how to use that, right?
And I
Also, like, what did it do?
I
After
honestly
realizing that it was acid.
I have a loose knowledge of what all of the different dragons abilities are. And I deliberately didn't go look up or have in front of me your guys' abilities because I didn't want that information to sway how I was doing it. So I think it's cool. A couple of you had acid resistance, played to your advantage. Blazewing had no acid immunity, but still shoved his head in there because Blazewing was the tank of the group. So you all survived, which means, and I've done this once before, Jeremy Lilly, who plays in our Sunless Citadel game, which tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. right here to see Sunless Citadel with DM Scotty, V, Jeremy from Erasmus Expeditions, and Megan from Dice on Ice. Anyway, Jeremy's dragon, he was in the first one. He played Regenovast, I think, the horrible or something, just a big evil red. And I had him show up in another one. And I also had Chad Nick's character come in again in the second game with Locrius. They played twin blue dragon brothers. And I had Tim and James Carney from Tabletop Terrors and Absolute Tabletop come in as gnomish dragon hunters that they had to fight against. So I like to pull stuff like that. Anyway, you guys all survived, which means that sometime in the future we can do another one of these with this same group of dragons.
Awesome.
As much
Yeah,
older.
that'd be awesome.
So I usually run these pretty far apart, but definitely something that we can revisit. as it'll be interesting to see how these 5 dragons have grown. So, that actually timed out pretty well. I guess nobody needed a break because we just powered right on through for three plus hours. So,
It was too much fun.
I will say, because I'm on, I don't know exactly where everybody is, but I'm in Michigan. I'm on East Coast time, so it's after midnight for me. So I'm going to go around one more time in reverse order. Let everybody give me, go ahead and say who you are again, where we can find you, and what your final thought on the game was. And so we're going to start with Eris.
I am Eris Savad. You can find me on Twitter at Eris Savad. You can also find me on my website at erisavad.com. I made it really easy for everybody. I make dice trays and bags, and I've got a stream calendar for lots of different places and stuff. I'm on hour 21. I don't know. I had a really awesome time, and I can't wait to play a dragon again.
Excellent. Glad to have you. This was first time playing with you, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you.
I will gladly have you in any games, dragons or standard characters. You are welcome. Next up, Jay.
Yes, Jason T D&D DM from Twitter. I'm always pumping out tons and tons of D&D news there, and Dice World news and whatnot. I'm kind of on a high right now. I'm at the Leonardo DiCaprio at the front of the ship moment as I'm flying out with mom and dad. Top of the world, Ma!
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you remember that movie. He didn't make it through.
Well, we'll see if I can change that.
Maybe you should have gone for the Kate Winslet.
As long as Lleuadau doesn't end up being Rose and hugging the entire door, that's all right. But
I need all of it.
But yeah, it was totally awesome, and as always, would love to come back whenever, man.
Excellent. And Karen.
I'm Karen Davies. I have a fledgling YouTube channel where you can find me. It's called Myth and Gears. Otherwise, find me at the AbTab group. That's about all I have to plug. This was great. It was a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to see what happens to Recalcitrix once she gets back to Daddy and learns all sorts of lovely little things. And it was great playing with all of you. This is the first time I've played with all of you, so it was awesome. Thank you very much.
Karen has now had characters be on both sides of a dragon fight, having played in my Sucker Punch based game. And one more thing, Don't Wake the Mother, where it was basically the scene where they played out the scene where they fought the dragon in Sucker Punch, but using D&D 5e. So she has been the dragon and fought the dragon. And by the way, I meant to tell you earlier, a raid is when somebody, because I saw in the chat, you were like, what's a raid? It's a Twitch thing. A raid is when somebody else comes to the channel and brings all their viewers with them. So they all show up at the channel. It ends up auto-hosting the channel. It's a pretty cool thing. Forgebreaker is a friend of the show, has played in a one-shot on the channel. Also, another first-time player for me and on the MTD channel, but definitely was a blast to play with. Brian.
Yeah, the handyman here with Initiative Coffee Company. I was so excited to play because we run a bunch of programming, and I am always running tables, and I run 5 times a week, and I think I play 5 times a year. So it was a blast just to roll dice on this side in general, but especially as a dragon, that's a huge get. So we have a coffee company that sells coffee at initiativecoffeeco.com. We have a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel at Initiative Coffee Co. on Twitch, and Initiative Coffee Company on YouTube. We run a YouTube series called The Bard's Tale. It's 5 bards and a cook as they stumble their way through our homebrew setting of the Glass Shores. That's with, and then I run a morning tabletop news show on Mondays with Bill Allen from Bill Allen World called Rise and Roll. which we won't be doing on this coming Monday because of the holiday, because it's done at a high school and that's a banking holiday. But to make it up to anybody who's interested, instead, I'll be on Dragon Talk with Greg Tito, talking about the company on D&D's Twitch. And that'll be, oh gosh, I got to go back from West Coast time. It'll be 5 o'clock Central, so 4 Eastern. You guys can do the math. But yeah, it was a blast. I had a really good time. I hope I didn't irritate you too much with digging, but
No.
I saw it on the stat block, and I thought that was the only way to survive. So,
Yeah, you
thanks for having
you
me.
were
That was
definitely
really
the
cool.
you were definitely the squish of this party.
Yeah.
So that was a wise tactic. In my mind, you were like that old cartoon with the little puppy that's, hey, what do you want to do next, Spike? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Bouncing all over the place to Blazewing.
I like to think I'm more of a mascot than like a player per se. But yeah, it was
Really,
fun.
though,
See,
the-
now I'm
the
picturing a
whole-
whole bunch of dragons and
Yeah, but you
a
did the
human
cool
running
shot.
around in a dragon mascot costume.
Maybe just as effective. I mean, it was a CR1 all day, so
That's awesome.
Just that image. Oh my god.
And lastly is somebody who is rapidly becoming a regular. This is game 2 of 3 this week on Mini Terrain Domain.
Yeah.
It's V.
Hi everyone, I'm V. I have the YouTube channel, The Crafting Muse, where I show you how to make terrain, scatter, paint minis, and all these other wonderful things. And I just looked, and the channel's getting close to 5,000 subscribers. So if you
Nice.
haven't subscribed yet, I'm kind of in that window where it's less than 200 now. So get the word out there. I'd really appreciate it. You can also find me on Twitter with the nice little handle that's right over there. And I'm also very active over there. So come and find me, come and subscribe, come and follow all of us, because everyone's great people here.
And I am Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, MTD_Jake on Twitter. I'm very active over on Twitter. That's actually where I organized this. I kind of organized some of it from the Absolute Tabletop official group on Facebook, where there's some crossover there. But I've been organizing more and more games through Twitter, getting more and more people from Twitter, just expanding, just so, because I'm going to play with everybody. I just want to play with everybody. We are an all-inclusive channel here. So if you're out there and, in fact, I got to reach out to somebody on Twitter. I can't remember their username right now, but I had tweeted that I would run a Gloam game for some people, and they said, hey, I probably won't get picked, but man, I'll be watching. And they've got like 12 followers, and I'm going to reach out to them. If you're watching, you're welcome. If you got a camera and a mic, you're welcome to come on the stream and play. I don't care how many followers you have or if you've never played D&D before. Everybody's welcome here at Mini Terrain Domain. Be sure to check out V, if you could drop one more time into the chats, the Terra Muffins link, where you can purchase a Terra Muffin shirt or other. I think there's other merchandise, or is it just the shirts?
No, you can get other stuff.
Okay, so there's some other stuff too.
You
With
can get it on basically everything from a cell phone case to a onesie. I want to see
Fantastic.
someone with a baby with a
I
Terra
absolutely
That'd be
Muffin
awesome.
onesie on.
that would be awesome.
Get it on
In
a
fact, if you know what, I have a niece.
There you go.
I'm gonna buy her a onesie.
There we go.
So yeah, and the profits from that's through the end of October. That's running.
Yep.
All
for
the profits all go
awareness
for
one.
the shelter for domestic abuse. So yeah, be sure to check that out. I want to just say a tremendous thank you to all of you, whether you're a regular on the channel or our 2 new friends tonight with Eris and Brian. Absolute pleasure. I would gladly throw dice with any of you again. And as always, I love our audience. We've got some people that I've known for a long time and some new friends. Our channel our channel fan, Chameleon Fam, coming in there once again, becoming a regular on not only this stream but other streams as well. I saw them over in the lunchtime crafting stream
Yep.
from V on the Crafting News today.
If we do this again, do we get to bank those 5 domain dice up there?
Yes,
or-
yes. I will refer back to this because you have earned those as these characters. Those 5 domain dice will roll over.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll definitely. I'll have something kicking around in the back of my mind so we can make another Affairs of Dragons game with these same characters. But again, huge thank you to the audience, everybody that tuned in. Quite a few people, both on Twitch and on YouTube. I absolutely love streaming to both platforms. If you like live, actual play, one-shot, or campaign games, Mini Terrain Domain is the place to be. Sunday nights, returning not next week because apparently that's Canadian Thanksgiving, and now 3/5 of our Cholt game is Canadian. That will return in 2 weeks on Sunday nights at 8:30. Cholt of Personality, the Tomb of Annihilation D&D 5e campaign. Monday nights, returning next week for session 2 with V is one of the players, and I am a player. It's here on MTD, but Mike Lasham from Mike the Piper is our DM in All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. Thursday nights is our Sunless Citadel mini campaign that we are dragging out as long as we can because, my lord, are we having fun.
That was meant to be a one-shot too, right?
That was, well, it was meant to be, I thought it was going to be like 4 or 5 sessions.
Okay.
But I think it's going to go on for a little while. And that's kind of, we've got lightning in a bottle there. We have unprecedented audience interaction. And it's just the perfect balance of a great game of people having fun playing D&D and interacting with the audience. As well as more things coming here on Mini Terrain Domain. Check out everybody's Twitters, YouTubes, and all that good stuff. And I am going to end the stream the way I end every stream, with a big ol'
Mid-giga.